We are live from Third House. What's today? The 15th?
It's the 15th,
Hard
right?
to believe, right?
Obviously, it's Prime Day.
No one's been
July
working
15th.
overnight, right?
No.
It's like 90% humidity here in Minneapolis. It has been for the past couple of days. Everyone's a little road weary. You guys ready for this?
I think we are. You know, and here's the thing: we got the Prime website here all loaded up. Here, I'll actually go ahead and show our viewers a little bit about what we're talking about here. We got Prime all loaded up. It's 2 days.
It's a two-day
event.
It's a parade of actually epic deals, Carter, according to the
You
advertising.
know, and I was thinking a little bit too today about like what are the gigs we're going to play here that are going to actually fill 2 hours, and so the people who are normally used to the 25 minutes of rambling are in for a treat. But I was thinking, are we going to like make every one of us maybe buy something on Prime Day? Maybe that would be a good thing.
Oh, I think we might have to do that. I think I've got a few festivities planned for us here today. I got some things going.
Yeah, I'm mostly excited to find out what everybody thinks
else?
everyone should buy.
Everyone
That's my
else should
favorite
buy.
segment.
Yeah,
for
that's
the
your
show.
favorite segment. Yeah, we've actually got, believe it or not, we're like a true radio show. We've actually got, I don't even know the definitions, but A blocks and B blocks and C blocks and segments and all that kind of stuff planned for you guys
I should
today.
pull that email up because or else we're going to go crazy. But
Yeah. So those watching and those listening on the audio, we will be doing tons of multitasking and taking Instagram photos right now. Carter's working all the electronics here on the video and the audio.
At me right now.
Yeah, and then we're gonna be, posting things on social media as well as we go here. Neil's probably gonna be the social media guy as we get going. But if you have any questions while you're listening, be sure to shoot us up. Hit us up on email. Just shoot us a direct message.
You can actually just comment too if you're watching live
Twitter.
on Facebook. Definitely comment on the stream. One of the 9 screens I'm looking at should actually pull that up, which would be fun. The other thing is that it is. Let's just be real. It is 8 in the morning on a Monday morning, right? And so some of you may be enjoying this here, like at a normal hour. Right? Like who has time to actually tune in? So we're going to put this both on Facebook, and then we'll do our best to distribute it across kind of all of our properties as well, just to make sure that you can really enjoy the fruits of the labor that have gone into getting not only today up and running, but also this beautiful space, this beautiful studio all up and running to do what we do. So it's going to be fun.
Absolutely right. Yeah, if you're on the East Coast, you're probably loving life right now. If you're on the West Coast, you're probably at home asleep, and we're loving your life. So, but anyway, so guys, I gotta ask you, why are we doing this? Like, what are you excited about today? Like, we got 2 hours. We're gonna try to fill 2 hours of content on Prime Day, which until 4 years ago, this is now its 4th rendition, was probably the most made up thing in the history of the world.
I guess here's the question. Let's do a first contrast here while everyone's kind of clicking on their phones. What's more important to you guys? Or I guess personally first, before we go into the professional side of things, what's more important, Prime Day or Black Friday? When was the last time you went out on Black Friday, I guess is the question.
I think it's now Prime Day. It's turned into Prime Day for most of us. I think we were talking last week about how many people in the country are Prime members now. So, I mean, if you contrast that with how many people are going out on Black Friday, I don't know those specific numbers, but I would believe that there's a lot more people who not even on purpose are active in Prime Day. Like they just are buying their regular staples today, and it's 30% off.
So Neil, to that point, like how many people are Prime Day members at this point in time, as estimated by whomever?
Our latest estimate is 101 million Prime members in the United States, which is a country of approximately 330 million. So
330 million. So
yes.
Really almost 1 out of every 3. I like estimates that are 101 because it really shows they went that extra mile in making sure their numbers were correct.
I've always wondered that. I always feel like some people will make sure it's not a round number,
right,
when they're making up fake facts.
Yeah.
You don't want
to like happen at Enron.
You don't want to, yeah, right. You don't want to round down on that one, right? We should put that out there. We should put that out on social media, Neil. We should put out, you want to know how many Prime members there are? Check us out live on Facebook and learn more from Omni Talk. I bet we could do that right now. That would be awesome. So, Ann, for you, it's Prime. So you think it's Prime Day over Black Friday? I mean, we went out on Black Friday to Mall of America last year, remember? And it was kind of sad, actually, like really early in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different. I think there are different objectives for people at different times of the year. I think what Prime Day has really become is, and you wrote an article about this, it's when you start to think about stock up and what families need. I mean, they use Amazon for buying, for repeat buying of stock up items, and there's a lot of things like that that are at a reasonable discount this time of year. In addition to the Black Friday items that are 50% off TVs and 60% off Alexa and Echo Dots. That's a pretty significant deal.
I mean, that's the thing, right? It's still like, even as you scroll like through this list, and you kind of scroll through like what on your phone or whatever on your desktop, it's still pretty much like heavy. It seems like it's heavy electronics deals. Like, I think Walmart released their deals today too. We'll have a segment where we go through and look at all the competition as well. But it's still a lot of electronics. It's a lot of gaming, a lot of televisions, things like that, Echoes, things of that nature. But so for you, you think this is you get more excited about this now than you do Black Friday, just because Black Friday's like I know the holidays are coming, and I just got to purchase what I need to purchase.
I think part of it might be having kids, too. I mean, the convenience of Prime Day, like Black Friday back in the day, sure, you could get up early and go out and, slightly hungover from Thanksgiving, go shop for the entire day. But I think now to be able to get all these deals and not have to go through the hassle of leaving your couch or your desk at work is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Black Friday's not super convenient, right? Like, your family's over, like you said, you're probably stuffed, you're probably hungover, whatever, and you got a lot of stuff going on. Like, I've never actually thought that was a really convenient day. Like I would actually rather get all my shopping and stuff done, especially with the ease of digital now, well before that.
Yeah, but I think you got to remember though, I mean, Black Friday was you had two different types of shoppers. You have the shoppers who are looking for a reason to get out of the house, and you're looking at the shoppers who are actually trying to take advantage of the quoted doorbuster deals, which I think is interesting. I mean, I'm just looking at the list here, and it's obviously targeted towards me, right? Because I think I'm logged in here. No, I'm not even signed in, so this is random, to a degree at least, right? Yeah.
That's just the generic Prime Day feed that most of 101 million Americans are not receiving.
The other thing you gotta,
I mean, to be fair, this page is probably still cookied unless you're incognito, so nothing is ever truly.
Look at you
unique.
Busting out the cookie.
That's valid.
Busting out the cookie?
Wow, busting out the cookie.
I feel like that's a sweet band from like Long
Busting
Beach.
out the cookie.
Busting out the cookie.
That was Chris's favorite band, actually.
Covers
that was
all day long.
Chris's favorite band in the '60s.
Guys, wait for this. You know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to tweet.
Oh my god.
On live stream.
I don't know what that even means.
This is like an SNL skit gone so wrong.
It totally
right
is,
now.
right? You have a Gen Xer trying to live stream for the first time and tweet. This is fantastic.
Oh my goodness. Carter, what are you going to buy today?
And that's what I think. I was just looking right now, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to log in here, and I don't know. Like the cool thing is like there's not really a ton of stuff that I need, and it's kind of a fun thing to say because we're so lucky that that's the world we live in. But I think it's interesting to look at this homepage to start to realize how is Amazon doing some more of that discovery type shopping. So you think about all the PR that has gone into this, right? And people who are obviously going to go to the Amazon website. And is this the one day or the couple days a year where Amazon can actually use this homepage for actually something good beyond the search bar? Right? Like, I think this product assortment is really important. And as Ann, you responded, I'm going to try to log in here in front of everyone.
Yeah. Do you guys feel compelled to buy things today? Like, or that you wouldn't ordinarily feel like you had to buy because of the deals?
I mean, absolutely not. I think we're in different boats. I don't think this is as important as Black Friday. I think this is a significant holiday, but I think Black Friday to me is a true knife fight where all retailers across the entire country bring out their small sheathed armband knives and try to cut each other's throats. And so, and your points are valid about shopping in store in terms of Black Friday, but Black Friday also has such a plethora of online deals. For me, that's still the bigger day for sure. I think here is a great opportunity to either shop for something that you were already planning on buying and now you're looking for a deal in the middle of the summertime, which is usually a low discount time of the year, or maybe to discover something new. But historically, and I haven't gone through all the deals yet, historically, I don't feel like I have found much in terms of discovery on Black Friday. So for me, I definitely peruse it every year to see if there's something extremely compelling or if there's something on my list that is waiting for the price to drop. But otherwise...
You peruse Amazon this time of year?
Yes, okay. Only, I mean, on this one day. Okay. And usually, probably for less than 30 minutes. Usually just a homepage, quick...
Neil's a strong Prime Day hater. I love it.
You really are. Yeah, so you're not compelled to buy anything.
I'm not.
All this excitement about podcasting live from Third House in our podcast facility. You are not into it.
I'm the yin to your yang.
Oh my
I'll tell you something.
But I think that's good. I mean, I think there's a lot of positive energy that comes from here, and Neil balances out in a really good way.
I have a big confession. I think everyone should prepare for this.
Here it comes.
My Amazon Prime membership just ended 2 days ago.
Oh, so
What?
it's now. Wait, hold on. Let me do the math here. So now it's 1,000,000.
100 million.
wait, 100,999,999.
That's correct.
Is that right, members? That's fantastic.
That's actually correct. So for
So,
me,
but here's a question: Have you in the last 2 days have you missed it?
there was one day where I missed it.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Because I'm in a workout competition. I couldn't watch Netflix, YouTube, or be on Twitter. So my backup media source, if I'm not in front of cable television, is Amazon Prime Video. So I missed it for a day.
Wait, you don't watch Netflix?
I lost a workout competition, so I had to quit Netflix for a week.
Wait, what?
Wait, this is
whole
a-
different topic.
No. Sorry.
This is genius.
We do need to get back to Prime Day, but you lost a what?
Yeah.
Sorry.
We have a workout competition. My two friends are getting married. Hi, Brian and Jess, if you're listening. Brian is a listener of the podcast. We have a workout competition. We're doing shredding for the wedding. They're getting married October 4th.
Oh my God! Whoa!
This is the
Back up.
best.
And as a gym owner, can I steal that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, give a
Shredding.
nice little plug.
You have
Shredding for the wedding.
You have two options:
Okay.
shredding for the wedding and shedding for the wedding, depending on what kind of workout.
I think
you're
I would be
going
more
for.
shedding than shredding. I got a long way before I start shredding.
So what are the
Wow.
differences between shed and shred?
I think shred is usually for those who are more, looking to put on muscle as well as lose fat. And then the second group is just like the fat loss focused only user. You're a gym owner, Ann. We can talk more about this offline as well.
Are there any Amazon Prime Day products that you think would help in the shedding or shredding process?
Actually, that's true. I'm a big fan of.
We got them.
I got in a few purchases before my Prime membership ended. I'm a big fan of pre-workout. Jim Stepani's pre-gym. It's been something I've used off and on for years, and I'm a huge fan. So
Okay.
I would say if you haven't tried pre-workout before and you're into intense weightlifting, I would recommend it.
Or shredding.
Or shredding.
I just gotta say, this is quite possibly the best 3 minutes of my life.
Oh my god.
I don't know how.
Let
I
me go
feel
back
about
to why
that.
I got rid of my Amazon Prime membership. I found, I have a storage locker full of stuff. Thank you to the U-Haul storage services. And I find that I buy things on Amazon Prime that I already own. I just don't know where they are. So maybe it's a millennial in me, traveling and seeing all the plastic pollution across the country or across the world, rather. I was like, you already own 99% of things that you need. They're just in places that are either inconvenient or unbeknownst to you. Instead of just buying more crap, it's your job to actually go find the stuff. And so that's sort of my my logic behind getting rid of my Prime membership is I already own a lot of crap. I buy too much crap. And this is my way of getting more towards minimalism.
Wow. Okay, so we're gonna move on from that because maybe
I guess
not.
I have.
I guess not. Ann
I'm
has a
curious about
question.
that because
All right.
we were just having a conversation last week with Dan Fun about Marie Kondo and how she's kind of like the biggest enemy of all brands because she's actually inspiring this next generation, especially to cut down on the amount of stuff that they have. And so they're a brand or marketer's worst nightmare. She is really. So I'm curious, do you think that this is, Neil, do you think you represent a larger trend and that Amazon maybe this 101 or 100, whatever that decimal point number was since Neil dropped off 2 days ago is.
It's one,
Do you
it's
think that
it's a minus involved?
do you think that Amazon's going to have to do new things to try to figure out how to maintain members?
I think Amazon, net of all things, should be the least worried about this. I think retail in general, marketers, manufacturers in general will see this continue to rise. I just had a conversation with my friend the other day. She was saying that she drives a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and she's like, every day I think about how I should get rid of this car because miles per gallon is bad. Or single-use plastic is terrible. Recycling's not actually the saving grace that we think it is, et cetera, et cetera. I think the focus on plastic pollution as well as, the manufacturing of new apparel uses a dramatic amount of water when there are, millions of people who don't have access to water. So there's a lot of, potentially negative climate things related to mass consumerism as we know it in the United States. So I think the younger generation is getting more and more aligned with being concerned with that. And so I think that'll be a change globally, but I think of all places, Amazon has the least worries.
Yeah, they're the ones that are probably most brand agnostic of any retailer, right? Like they actually are trying to strip brands away from that whole experience as much as possible. At least for them, like trying to give the value of not having to go that direction.
Well, and they add value
Just
to
give
many
you what
other.
you need.
They add value to many other things. Amazon Prime Photos backs up all your photos for free. 5 gigs of video backup. Amazon Prime Video. I mean, it's
If you had
the
it.
ecosystem.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right.
huge.
In theory, it's pretty valuable if you still.
Yeah, well, don't worry. Google Photos still backs up my photos for free as well.
Ooh, we got a Google shot across the bow. Amazon, are you listening? But what? Okay, so Neil's not into it. He doesn't have a list made, and I'm
over
dying to
it.
hear what's your list.
I'm buying things for Third House today.
Third House.
Yes. So I am looking at.
And what is Third House, Ann?
Third House is a networking and lab space that we've opened in Minneapolis, Minnesota, specifically for the retail industry. And so I'm looking for stuff to make.
And it opens today, right?
And it opens today,
That's right.
July
That's
15th.
another reason we're doing this.
You can check us out at thirdhousehaus.com.
Yeah, www.thirdhouse.com. I just pulled
There's
it up
a site.
here,
Check
and
that
I
site
know
out.
it's beautiful. I know this is amazing. I know that there's links to in the descriptions here and in all the emails that I know are going to be going out from Chris. And I think, it's been a ton of fun to watch Chris and Ann. You guys put this whole thing together. It's been a labor of a lot of sweat, blood, and love, and it's turned out to be just absolutely incredible. So definitely check it out online. I pulled it up here for everyone to take a look at. But yeah, definitely jump in, and I'll actually throw it in the comments here of the. From the section, and Dan's here from Portugal.
All right.
See, someone who's got a little bit of a time zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, our numbers
on
are
his
ticking
side.
up actually pretty good. Well, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's legitimately say what are you each? I'll kick us off. What are we buying today? So I got to tell this story. Okay, so here's my list, and then you guys can ask me questions about this. And I
Okay.
want to hear your list too. So I have been instructed, in no particular order, by Mrs. Omni Talk,
Yes.
Michelle Tafoya. Okay, not that Michelle Tafoya. For those of you wondering, the much better one. I am instructed to buy a milk frother.
Okay.
Even though we do not own an espresso machine.
You are the
Keep that
opposite
in
of
mind.
Neil already.
Yep, definitely the opposite of Neil. A drain weasel hair clog toolkit, which I'm
Ooh, I
told
did
is
see
actually
that.
on special.
I did see
you
the
really
drain
see that?
weasel.
Did you see that? We
Is
gotta
that how you
pull
spell
that up, Carter.
frother? Hang on, I'm bringing up the frother here, and
You
then
want to do the frother first? Yeah, the frother. I don't even know
guys,
how to navigate the frother.
I've had one
thing
of
yet.
those.
That's
It's
gonna
okay.
take me some
But can we
time.
pause here for a second?
Sure.
So I just want to recap kind of what just happened. So we just kind of we replayed basically what would happen from a standard user. You
Yeah,
you
no,
were
it's great.
going and you were saying, I have something I need, and so you jump on the Amazon homepage and you go what? Straight for the search bar, where what?
Absolutely.
65% of purchases happen.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden, we are now thrown out of the ecosystem of Prime Day, right? So now you're just in normal Amazon world, right?
Right.
And I'm something I researched. I'm just making observations on what everyone is seeing here right in front of you on Facebook Live and in the recording. But ultimately, we are now in the hunt and peck world of Amazon, where they rely on so much. Outside of the homepage and outside of the PR, where does Prime Day really come in terms of the standard shopping? So when you have something you actually need to go purchase.
Yeah, let's follow this because actually scroll back up here if you can, if you're looking at home. Scroll back up because the way this came about, I was in Chicago for Prime Day, for July 4th, and we were staying at some friend's house, and the friend had this milk frother, and I think they had basically this one right here, Carter, this one on the far right.
You want me to go in there?
Yeah, let's click on
All
it.
right, cool.
Is this even a Prime Day thing, or am I gonna end up buying this because it's just something we want? Ooh. It is on sale now.
No, is that?
Is
but
it,
that's,
though?
Is that? Yeah. Well, is it?
Right.
That's another question.
Yeah.
There's a $10 coupon, but is that for Prime Day?
Ooh, let's check it out.
So as you guys know, we can just apply this coupon. This is my account, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
So we've been making
So
no
you're-
purchases
can you-
live because that's
can
on
you
my
buy
credit
this for
card.
me, then? Or
No.
Okay, all
No.
right.
Actually, you
Sorry.
could buy it for me.
Carter
Okay.
doesn't trust you
Yeah.
over these years to pay him back.
Carter's a smart man.
$29.99.
Chris
milk
is
frother.
definitely too old to have.
Don't worry, we
Venmo.
can buy some batteries then too. To add to that. We're just
All right, he
researching.
knows you need batteries.
Yeah. Okay,
All right.
but back to my point though, it's like this fact that hunt and peck, and you're all of a sudden outside of the Prime Day ecosystem. You're outside of the promotion, even though you might be looking for that because of all the PR
Yeah, it's
releases.
still like a deal hunting mentality, similar to like Black Friday.
But
But
if I click
Carter,
on it-
you have to pull it up. Let's pull up the Drain Weasel
Okay,
hair
cool.
clog toolkit.
Yeah, let's
because
go-
Ann said that's
Wait,
on her wish list too.
It's
yeah.
It's a specific brand of product. It's not a general product.
It's
yeah, no,
the
it's a
weasel.
thing. Yeah.
Oh, but actually, look at here. I mean, I'm sorry to continue to derail us,
Oh.
but if you go through the Prime Day main banner, right, and then ultimately you're able to search Prime Day as a category, which I think is kind of interesting. Oh, and Prime Day Live. That would be a little bit weird of a mirror and mirror kind of world if we jumped into Prime Day Live. But they're recorded to do some pretty incredible stuff. So while I look at the Drain Weasel, we know that there's some live things happening in Prime today. Is that accurate? Some concerts and things?
Oh yeah, T Swift.
Too. There's a lot. Yeah,
she's gonna make a big. She's got a big concert for Prime Day, obviously. Which
did I misspell weasel?
I think you got it close enough.
As you guys know, I'm not the best speller in the world.
What this is that both the older crowd in the room, which by the way is now a sweatbox for any of you in here.
Here, Prime Day deal. There you go. $13.95.
The flexi is that what I want?
That's
what I want? Okay. Can you scroll down for me, Carter? Just because I'm curious.
Oh, you want to see the other products?
Yeah, I want to see what's in the full Drain Weasel.
Our poor computer here is just not loving us. Probably contributing to the heat.
But to give you an idea of what this is, in case you're not fully seeing that, and our numbers are continue to go up. This is amazing. I'm gonna have to send out another email. Basically, this is what I usually get. Ian, I don't know if have you tried this product for $5?
The Zip It, I think is what you're referring to.
Yeah. Like you just put it in there.
Works like a charm times 1 through 6, and then the 7th try, those little Zip It things, they fall off. Yeah,
right.
Michelle and I have had detailed conversations about this and how it works, but only temporarily. Well, that's good. So I would go with the Weasel. Give it a shot.
The other thing that there's a couple other things I'm excited about for Prime Day too. So I want to get you guys' opinion on this, especially Ann, one of them for you.
Yeah.
And Neil and Carter, this one could be right up your alley. The other thing that's on our list, which I'm almost 100% positive I'm going to purchase today, is the Hyperkin Retro N1 HD gaming console for the NES.
Wait. Explain.
Neil's already shaking his head. So basically what this is, it's a system where I can put in any old Nintendo game cartridge, that I can buy for like $5-10 at the local store that's still trying to make it in the mall. And I can introduce my children to all the benefits of things like, Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt,
Zelda,
yes, Bases Loaded, Paperboy, yes. So like
as Carter and Neil are just staring at us like, what in the hell are you talking about?
Do you guys think that's a good purchase or no?
How much?
It's, I believe, let's look it up, Carter, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem. Just got 7 keyboards in front of me. Sure. All right, no problem. Let's just jump back into this screen. And would you like to look in Prime Day, Chris, or would you like to expand your search to something different?
Let's look in Prime Day because I'm curious.
Next time we cover Prime Day, I'm going to give you all keyboards. Yes. And then you can do this.
I agree.
All right, cool.
Yes. Or we can take control of what's happening.
Don't push the boundaries.
Yeah, right.
We can barely get this thing.
All right.
Give me it again.
Go. The Hyperkin Retro N1 HD gaming console.
Hyperkin?
Mm-hmm.
K-I-N?
Yep.
Let's just do that.
Yeah, it should come up. Yeah. Ooh, there.
Nothing.
There, it's down there below.
You see it?
Actually, yeah. This is that's one of
showing
the
from all departments, right? So that was the issue that we saw here. Oh, this is kind of cool.
There it is. Oh, no, not that one. That's way too expensive. I think it's no, I don't know. So it's a hard find.
But here, let's expand this. Even though I know that it was trying to deliver us stuff from all categories, but
that and then the other thing I'm thinking about buying is a new roundup of basic T-shirts.
Oh my gosh!
The basic cotton T-shirts.
I know you well. That was on my list of items for you to buy.
Was it for me to buy?
Yeah, 5-pack of Amazon Essentials basic tees.
Really?
Basic
you might have to help me
cotton
out
tees.
with that. Okay, you can help me out with that.
Is that what actually?
We'll search that out later.
Not yet.
No, but
after Prime Day, Neil.
Ant's
a new man.
She's trying to get me into to raise Amazon's apparel penetration numbers. Okay. So.
But it is a good day to try Amazon brands.
Things.
If you're going to try Amazon brands, they are on sale today for Prime Day, so you should check them out.
By the way, we're not being paid for this level of excitement. I want everyone to know that this is actually genuine.
Far from it. Far from it. But do you think I should just go basic white, or should I go like colors? Like what kind? What should it panoply or?
I feel like you gotta. I mean, you can't go wrong today. It's basically BOGO like T-shirts.
Is
just
it really?
Get a variety of color.
I'm pretty excited about. The other thing I'm excited about that's not on Amazon, which we'll talk about later too, but more so is Nike's having a 30% off flash sale today.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute. Though.
Can we talk about competitors?
Yeah, let's talk about that because I think in my defense against why Prime Day is as exciting, if not more exciting, than Black Friday, is that it's not just Amazon anymore. All of the other major retailers are doing some kind of discount to combat the Amazon to try
I
to
was just
steal
going to see
some
if
of
it
that
was
traffic.
covered in the news.
So I do have a few stats here, Carter, just right off the top of my
Okay.
head of some competitors. So Target is doing deal days today and tomorrow, the 15th and 16th, where it's offering up to 40% off things like furniture, small appliances, cookware, traditional Black Friday items. Macy's is also doing Black Friday in July for this entire week. So they're offering, again, pretty significant discounts on some of their products. Kohl's also doing, and they have a partnership with Amazon. So it's interesting. They're doing in-store deals when you come into especially their Amazon return stores for this week alone. And I know eBay, Walmart, Dell, everybody is jumping in on this game to give some significant discounts to direct people to their sites.
No, I guess the question is,
Amazon.
is that a successful strategy? And I think ultimately you're going to get some spillover no matter what, right? People are tuned in to shop. It's 8 a.m. You're jumping online first thing Monday morning, and as much as your employer might hate it, you are browsing. You're in the mood to shop, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that if you're able to ride the PR wave that Amazon's been able to create, all of a sudden you're in a, I think is beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Now, am I going to go out and buy anything from those brands today? Probably not. No, but I also don't think I'm in the mindset of shopping right now. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. Does this make you want to shop at other retailers? Like you asked that. We had that debate with Neil earlier about whether or not he's even excited about Prime Day. Does it make you excited to shop other retailers?
I don't know if excitement is the right emotion that I would give to, to what you feel about that, but I do think that as this starts to become a thing where all the retailers are doing something on this day, I'm going to start planning. If I know, this summer I need to buy a TV or I need to buy some small electrical appliances or things like that, yes, I'm going to start planning my purchases around these types of weeks or days or deals because it's a significant discount. And if you don't need it right away, why not?
I'll jump in quick. As reported by CNBC, according to Adobe Analytics, U.S. retailers could see a surge of up to 79% compared to the average Monday or Tuesday in July. And last year, average sales grew 54% on Prime Day, according to the average Tuesday in July. So that's compared for all U.S. retailers.
Yeah, which is a pretty unbelievable statistic when you think about it. Now, to see that much growth across the board, just from the fact that some company is putting this out there and then everyone's kind of dragging along with it, it's pretty intense. That's why I brought up the Nike thing because, legitimately, I've had my eye on these brown camouflage high tops.
This is how Chris tries to drop in little, I'm not a millennial, but I'm cool.
That's right. It doesn't work anytime. It doesn't work. But it's real. I've been waiting for them. They're now on sale. I think they're on $60 now, and now this would get me down to $40, $45. And then it's okay, do I pull the trigger on that to try to look cool? And Neil's like, yes, you do, because you really need the help. But yeah, I think it's a real thing. But I'm not letting you guys off the hook on this, because I do legitimately want to hear it. I want to hear because I think it sparks conversation. What else? What is on your Prime Day wish list?
Like I said,
I want to see how people are psychologically thinking about this holiday.
Yeah, like I said, for sure, stock up items. So I'm looking at schools starting pretty soon.
So you're thinking about school supplies.
I am
really?
not necessarily supplies. I'm talking about fall clothes and shoes and that kind of stuff for the two boys. They're gonna be. They need to re-up, and this is a good time to do it. The deals are pretty significant. So again,
so it's kind of catching the apparel hook with us today.
I think
that's
so.
Kind of between the two of us anyway.
The basics type stuff like the white T-shirts, socks, underwear, that kind of stuff.
For sure.
My boys, thankfully, are so young that they're not embarrassed that their mom's talking about their underwear that I'm going to buy on Prime Day.
Give them 2 years.
I'm getting the sale undies, Sully. Don't worry about it. So that's what I've got on my list. In addition to the
that's
electronics.
That's a word men don't say. I think undies. I don't drop that very often.
There's a whole brand, MeUndies.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Very
coming
successful
back.
brand, may I add.
Successful,
yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I take that back. Although I've never said it, I don't think.
I'm just trying to think when I.
What about you, Carter? What is anything? So for you stock up anything else?
Well, and I would say there's some beauty and essentials products. Again, stock up stuff, but they're doing pretty good deals on the premium beauty brands.
So Neil's absolving himself entirely from this entire day. You're stocking up. I'm getting basically crap for my drain and other things that I really don't need in my life. What about you, Carter? How are you thinking about this?
I don't know. Like, so first of all, I wasn't planning on buying anything. If we remember 30 minutes ago, I was kind of a hater. Not as much of a hater as Neil, right? Neil didn't even want.
Changing in the middle of this conversation?
No, I'm just saying that I don't think I have anything I need to buy, right? Like, there's nothing.
You're American.
Un-American.
When did you ever need
rip up
something
my
to buy?
passport. I know, right? No, but I'm just trying to think. Like, I think I'm probably more in that stock up mindset, right? So, and for me, stocking up is a pretty lame list of items if you think about it, right? It's V-neck T-shirts. It's probably batteries. What else do you need?
Did you say V-neck T-shirts?
Yeah.
Okay,
White
cool.
tees.
Deep
Just
V's.
sure.
Please say
Very
How
deep.
deep is that V?
I don't know. Do you want me to unbutton this? Here, we'll turn off the cameras for a second.
Oh,
Yeah,
it just
camera-
got
We're only
spicier.
30 minutes in.
Carter.
Come on. So, but I don't know. And okay. And can
Wow,
I
it's going by
shift?
fast.
Can I shift this a little bit?
Of course.
So Prime Day has always been a big driver for Amazon-owned technology products, right?
Yeah.
So in the past, they've basically given away Alexas, right? Especially when voice adoption, was kind of on the forefront, and it was something we talked about a lot. They're like, well, let's give it away. And so I just wanted to take a look at this, right? So an Echo Dot is for $22, which, if you think about it, like, what do you guys think an actual Echo Dot costs to make? You think you're right around there?
I would, it's got to be
that's a good
between
You think it's
$12 and $18.
20%? Yeah, I would say it's about $12. So they're still making $10 on this, but after shipping, right? So they're paying for the shipping in this case. There's no one to offset it because it's coming from Amazon. With shipping and everything, I bet that's pretty close to cost. And I think the strategy, and Neil, you might know this a little bit more from a factual standpoint, but I think the strategy behind this in the past has been, let's take a loss almost on this in hopes that we can continue to gain momentum in the voice world.
Yes.
Right now, I think looking at this price, and as we're looking here on the screen here, like looking on this price, obviously, look at Amazon devices, sorry, $14.99. I'm going to actually look into that too. But I think they're taking the same strategy. I just haven't seen as much PR on this idea of basically, hey, we're giving away Echoes.
It's almost enough to make me consider getting an Echo.
I thought, don't you already have 5? I have too many. Hang on. I think I actually have an Echo sitting behind me. No, I'm not joking. There's one in here somewhere. I brought one for Third House.
I did an informal poll yesterday when I was with my family, and we have some family members who are purchasing their second and third Alexa devices today because
Which is
they
great.
don't
Like
need
that's kind of the
them,
point
but
too.
they want to have them in more spaces in their house, even for like not just reordering yet. I think that could come in the future. But for
IoT applications.
Yeah, what's the weather like? Play some music, like just basic things where they're starting to get more and more comfortable adopting voice into their space. And so, they're probably going to be people who are going to buy another 1, 2, or 3.
Which I think at this price point, just
devices.
barriers eliminates barriers, right? Like, and all of a sudden you're realizing, well, do I really need another Alexa in the bedroom? Like, is that really something I need? I mean, it would be nice to ask once or twice, right? But all of a sudden at a price point of $20.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, Alexa story for you, unless we have something else to talk about.
Go ahead, yeah. Let's do it.
So I got an Echo Show through a gift.
I think the voice topic here is really interesting.
Yeah, I got an Alexa Show through a gift as I do this microphone here. And so for those unfamiliar, Alexa Show is the Alexa device with a that's the new one. Chris is pointing out actually here on the far right of the screen you're seeing in front of you. That's the new one, but the other one's a little more clunky, but actually it doesn't matter because it's ultimately just on top of a dresser anyways. And the main point of it, and I think we've talked about this before on the show, is I believe the main point of that has been for the kitchen, right? And there's a couple of uses for the living room because it correlates directly to my security cameras, which has actually been really nice. Hear a bump in the night, you're sitting there on the couch, you say, hey, Alexa, show me the front door. Within a matter of seconds, I got a live stream at my front door, or you can almost use it as a little bit of a doorbell. But anyways, it was collecting dust. It was sitting in our living room. We were never using it. We didn't use it for the security side of things because we just didn't need to, or our phones were easier. And then I cleaned it off the other day, and I put it upstairs kind of in I won't give you the details of my home, but basically my bedroom, right? The spot where everyone kind of you get ready in the morning. And I've started using the morning briefings, and it's been incredibly helpful, and it's actually been really, really nice. So what I've done is I've built this flash briefing that gives me the download of it gives me the weather, the traffic, and then it gives me my calendar, and then today's top stories. And so, I'll spare you the graphic details, but like as you're getting changed and as you're kind of getting dressed and ready for the day, you say, hey, Alexa, show me my day. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, welcome, it's 75 degrees already outside at 5 o'clock this morning. And, your drive looks pretty good. So I'm going to take 14 minutes to get to work. And it's like, you have 73 events in your calendar today. Well, it's not that much, but you have like 20 events in your calendar today. And then you're able to sync whatever calendars you want. So I can sync the Omni Talk calendar. I can sync my personal calendar. I can sync my wife's. And what's super nice is it gives me a quick snapshot of what I should prepare for. And so it's like, oh, I forgot a client was coming in today. Oh, I forgot I have to move a bunch of and all of a sudden it's starting to give you all the tools you need for the day, eliminating the need from like a phone to take, 15, 20 taps, especially in the mindset you are of like quickly getting started. And I think that's where Alexa's come in super handy, especially with a screen. Tangent.
No, actually, that was an awesome tangent because I actually think you may have just converted me to purchase that today, because you gave me a whole nother use case for how to think about this, which, I even think of it just like, I think because you kind of mentioned it, but like the bedside table application of this, it's kind of like a new age alarm clock in some ways too. And then you don't have to have the clock, but you can always ask what time it is. And then maybe I can leave my phone downstairs
that's
before
the dream,
I go
right?
to sleep, right? And that's the dream. And like I hadn't thought about that application before, but I think I'm all in on that today. Now that you mentioned it,
Please
probably
don't
the most
leave your
important
phone
thing.
away.
Well, but here,
Not
like,
yet.
I mean, let's look at this. $49.99 for an Echo Show. Like, I mean, that's insane. Like, that's a great deal.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And a brand new one at that. Like, that's pretty incredible.
Well, and then the other one you said was, $22 just to have the little Echo Dot.
Yeah, and I think, and I don't know, does anyone else know a little bit more about this? I know that there's a huge feud between them and Google about having YouTube involved in this, right? And I think that's now ceased, and so you can actually do YouTube. But I'm actually going to look up something here.
We have a live comment.
Wow, we are still building traffic too. This is great.
We have a live comment from our friend Sarah Kincaid, who said, I never thought I'd say this, but we love Alexa at our house. And at this price, it's time for everyone to try a Dot or a Fire Stick. So Sarah, thank you for that comment. And I'm sure Amazon thanks you as well.
Now, the Fire Stick's always been
Sarah,
super interesting.
Bringing it strong. Love it.
She's got an affiliate link too, hopefully make some money off this bad boy.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to combine a couple of conversations here, right? And so the thing I was going to pull up, Chris, if you're going to make a purchase, and because Amazon's not paying us, I can trash and talk competitors.
Please. You're an Alexa file.
So
you are its biggest fan. Her biggest fan.
The other thing that I would say is that there are some pretty incredible competitors out there, especially from Google. So when you look at, so you look at the Google Smart Home, so as the Home Mini, Nest Hub, here I'm just kind of reading it verbatim off the screen, and it looks like you have to purchase it through Walmart. They're, it's not necessarily Google specifically giving you the discount. But I have seen a lot more benefit coming from Google. Maybe that's just the world that I live in rather than Alexa. So yes, I will say that the Alexa Show is great. I got it for a gift. Would I buy it again? I think I might actually go for more of a Google product because I just think they've been doing more with especially their the hub. So you save $70. Well, it's not the lowest price. $79 for the Nest Hub. So it's not bad. Just 20 more bucks. And it's via Walmart here. I can actually go in and look at what's going on. But I would just look at the two. I would compare the two and figure out, who do you want to own your life. And Chris spilled his coffee. Nice. I mean, it's not even an hour in.
This is just a regular Monday.
Nice
This
work.
is live recording.
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, $79 for the Nest Hub. I don't think that's not a bad deal at all. And
Neil's on it.
Neil's closest to the door. Thanks, Neil.
Closest to the door.
But anyways, that's how I'm using Alexa these days. Rather than and a little bit of smart home stuff, but I think ultimately voice continues to be a little overrated, especially when it comes to commerce.
Carter,
but we could talk about that.
Do me a favor if you will, and while you're looking this up, I have a fun statistic to share just for a fun fact. But Carter, can you look? We talked last year, I think it was around the summer round, about the Amazon Look, and we were pretty pumped about it, and not much happened around that. So while you're looking that up, another fun statistic. I'm going to throw this out to the crowd.
Okay.
What? From a percentage perspective, how many fewer people are naming their children Alexa?
Ooh,
80.
I love this
Since
statistic.
2015. Yeah, I'm when Neil gets back with thank you for helping me out after spilling the coffee. So Neil, question to the group. Since 2015, it's reported that fewer people, not surprisingly, are naming their children Alexa. What percent?
Is
do you
this
think
all
that number is
derivatives
down?
of Alexa, like Alexis, Alexa, Alexi?
Let's just say Alexa, because that's what the data I have in front of me.
Okay.
Curious how much you think it's down since 2015
In total, right?
in total.
30%.
30%. Neil, what do you think?
25%.
25%. It's interesting you guys went so low. I would have thought it'd be so much higher. Initially I would have said like there's 70%.
I said 80.
70%.
Yeah.
You said 80.
You
Yeah.
guys are in a bubble.
Amazon
Prime, Alexa.
Yeah,
Totally.
I agree with
bubble.
Neil. I got this.
It's not a problem in your house yet to say that your name when your kids name that too.
I'm taking this from our earlier conversation when last week Neil was like, how many people in the United States are Prime members? And we do live in a world where we're like, everybody, I don't know, who's not a Prime member?
Well, it's 1/3 of the country. Though.
Right.
1/3 of the
2/3
population.
2/3 are not. So if in
it
the grand
doesn't,
scheme
though,
of
because
things,
it mean that's
Agreed.
members, like, right? So that could represent a whole household. So actually, the number's a lot higher. That's what's really
Yes,
crazy.
I would estimate. I mean, I'm not looking at data, but I would guess around half.
I mean, the average household is what, 2.5, 3 people? I don't know, but yeah.
The average household like 2.9 people.
Yeah.
well, I think we're going to get into like some crazy freakonomics discussion too, because like where Alexa started as a name and who is naming their kid Alexa, and now where it's gone, and then who of those people are Prime members, and how does that trickle down to the rest of America? Like we could get into some serious conversations about this, but
that's deep. I've never even contemplated that. Do you guys want to hear the statistic though?
Yes, I do.
All right, and then we'll take a look at the Echo. I'm sorry,
Wait,
the
there should-
Amazon look.
There should be
go ahead.
a punishment for how wrong you two are gonna be.
How wrong we're gonna be?
Yeah.
I didn't guess.
Well,
So-
you said you agreed with his 75.
That's what I
80%.
would have. Yeah, I would have. But punishment.
Extra burpees or something.
do you-
I think there should
extra
be
burpees at AQ Fit Lab.
there should be a shed or shred, like terrible punishment for you.
Shred it for the wedding.
Absolute.
I'll tell you what. I'll shred it for the wedding for you one day. All right. Here's the actual statistics. So we have Neil at 20. What'd you say? 25. 25 and at 30. Carter and I are up in the 80s. The correct answer, according to Recode, of course, everything seems to be from Recode. At least anything good. Is 33%, down 33% since 2015, and nails it within 5% confidence. Very, very nice.
Amazing.
Very nice.
Pop culture.
All right, Carter, what do we got here? What do we got on the Echo Look?
So, Echo Look, and I'm
What is
doing
the Echo Look
I'm doing
too?
a quick
Remind the
post
audience.
here. Oh well, here, let me just delete this
why
post.
Why
don't
doesn't
you
Carter?
give?
I'll give the Echo Look background while Carter.
Yes, thank you. I
works
appreciate
on,
that.
Getting this up on the screen. So Echo
Yeah,
Look
especially since you're old enough to have remembered Clueless.
was basically Cher's supercomputer from her closet in Clueless. And what Echo Look does is you install it in your room, assuming that's where you have your clothes, and then every day it catalogs the outfits that you already have, can suggest new items for you to add to your outfits, but then can also make up new outfits based on what you currently have in your closet and suggest new items. And when this came out, it was about a year ago. I think it was, just over a year ago, last summer. It was on my list of things to buy immediately.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we were legitimately going to try it. For some reason, we never did.
Yeah. Well, clearly we never did, and a lot of other people, because no one ever hears about it anymore.
I think it's probably why, too.
I think
It's
probably
also a little expensive for us.
Yeah, I think it was around $200 at the time, but definitely a product that is probably not a necessity for people.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, like Neil was talking about, as you start to think about buying fewer things, especially apparel and all of the waste and things that go into making new apparel, if you are trying to be smarter about the items that you do have in your closet, something like this to inspire how you're dressing, what items you are deciding to pull the trigger on or make purchases with, it could become more useful. We'll see. Another user comment
awesome.
in the background
Who's
from
this?
Shlomo Chop,
Shlomo!
who's
One of our
saying
favorite fans.
that the Echo should be free with the amount of data that they are getting.
It's super valid.
And it's too late by the time the world realizes what's going on. Thank you, Shlomo. Couldn't agree more.
Honestly, no, that's a great
Shlomo
comment.
always dropping the hammer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
just be
right.
like, all right, let's be real for a second. I mean,
fantastic.
we'll talk about data. I mean, look at the Echo
And the
Look.
numbers
like,
keep going up. Thank you to everyone out there. Sorry, Carter, but thanks to everyone out there for tuning in. Like, we keep continuing to build the audience out there. Again, if you're interested, check us out. Tell your friends. Check us out on Facebook. And be sure to tweet our answers, or use the text feature in Facebook to talk to us.
Yeah, leave us a comment here.
LinkedIn.
I know both Neil and Ann are looking at the comments, which I think is huge, and getting some comments, and I think that's awesome. Yeah, no, it's good. Thanks for all the positive feedback. I think it's great. I know our video isn't perfect, but it's working, so that's what matters.
Yeah, it's working great. Great job, Carter, today. This has been fantastic. But yeah, Carter, please.
Okay, so Echo, look here.
So $99 we're talking. For
yeah, no,
thing.
and this used to be on like a beta program. You might
Wow.
be not even able to get it. Now here's the thing is like, all right, I think we should get this. I think this is the next like frivolous purchase.
Sorry, keep going.
The next frivolous purchase I should make, at least to try it. I think the question is that like, how mainstream can this be and how quick is it? Like, I think even for ourselves, who are, as Neil says, we are living in a bubble all about Amazon, really kind of immune to some of the feedback or whatever, right? Like, at the end of the day, like, how does this incorporate into my day-to-day purchasing decisions? Now, if I can say that, yes, I'm gonna be transparent and be vulnerable here for a second, guys. So I am.
Wait, hold on.
I feel like we need
Just
some
wanna make
soft
that heavy.
music.
Oh, just
All
make
right,
it really
go ahead,
heavy.
go ahead.
That's what
Yeah.
Dan actually gives me a little bit of his biggest point of feedback on my speaking is like, slow the F down and work on your pauses. I've gotten rid of kinda, so that's good. He's always here. Anyways, point being is like, I'm always looking. I want to like buy new clothes. Like I feel like being in the ad world, like you have to like straddle this weird thing of being like cool and trendy, but you're also like a dad from Minnesota, but you also like don't want to wear khaki pants and a button-down shirt every day.
Right.
That's as intimate as I'll get here in that conversation. But the point being is that like shopping's super difficult then. Now, if Amazon is able to provide a benefit to say, hey, we're going to take a picture of you every single day for the next 100 days,
Yes.
then understand your calendar, understand what industry you work in, and you put in some parameters, and we're going to be able to give you the exact clothing that you need or are looking for, perfectly curated.
Right.
And then I'm able to, let's say, purchase all that for a really great Amazon price because I'm a Prime member, and also get it shipped to me that same day through, why am I blanking on it? Is it Amazon Closet? I forget what it is.
Wardrobe.
Wardrobe.
Yeah.
So that basically means that I'm free returns, all the benefit of that. And is that the inroad to Amazon Wardrobe that I really need? And I think that, yeah, if it all worked like that, but I see little trails to say that, I see little proof that it's actually that turnkey yet. And until that happens, I don't know how much of a benefit Look is if we were going to come full circle in this 5-minute rampage.
It's a little ahead of its time. That's probably true. Although for that price, it makes me want to.
I'm
should look at my
curious
cart.
if they can start integrating some other things, like how.
Sorry, I'm clicking on my cart. This could get
how
weird.
great that camera is, and if you're able to say like that shirt is getting tight, maybe you need another size, and
That's
integrating
dangerous.
into health data.
Or as Scott Galloway would say, then they're going to recommend a healthcare health insurance for you.
Yeah.
And if your shirt's getting a little tight, that might be a little bit more expensive.
That's right.
So to that point, let's segue, because I think this is a good segue. Actually, it's actually amazing it worked out that way. I'm curious what everyone's Prime Day feed looks like in relation to each other's, and then we can maybe take a look at some competition too. But let's bring that up. We all talked about what we're all excited to buy today.
Yep.
Now, if we pull up the feeds, I'm gonna grab my phone here.
No, I think it's important that everyone does it on their own devices.
own
I don't think this
devices.
studio computer that everyone is seeing on Facebook Live is yes, it's cookied, as Neil talked about earlier. However, it's cookied based on our studio use, right? So
Which is real time.
it's a new profile. Like, I think there's a couple things to keep in mind. It's a new Google profile. It's a new machine. It's an old machine, as some people I'm sure are seeing with a little bit of video lag. But it's an old machine reformatted for what's going on. So let's all look at our homepage here.
Yeah.
And I think mine's going to be pretty well. Mine is pretty well
Carter,
synced to what everyone saw.
Carter, why don't you start?
So mine is pretty well synced to what everyone is seeing on Facebook Live simply because I'm logged in.
Yeah.
So I'm logged in on both the sides of things. But I am starting to see, based on the frother that Chris forced me to put into my cart, different coffee deals. I still see the Echo. Interestingly enough, I see a Square reader. And then about halfway down, I'm seeing the top deal categories. So I can shop all deals, Amazon devices, electronics, things like that. And then it goes into all electronics, and electronics. And that's really where I'm at. And then it's an infinite, well, it's not an infinite scroll. Or, it might be. Anyways, point being, that's the download.
Yeah.
Neil, what are you at?
Nothing that interesting or varying.
Yeah, this is interesting. It's actually less variant than I would expect.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty similar
yours-
to what the studio computer is. The one really weird deal is I've got Save on Chemical Guys foam car wash soap, which if Amazon knew anything about me, I got rid of my car more than 2 years ago. because obviously I'm going full millennial. As
Just
I've already
worthless
told you guys.
Amazon.
Did you take an Uber here
Completely
this morning, or?
worthless.
That's okay.
He's
Well,
got a
that is a
car
little bit
on
of a
loan.
fact check. It's a temporary thing. I'm getting rid of it very shortly.
Do we have
For
live
the
fact
second
checking
time.
going on?
Yeah, take it easy, Carter.
Sorry, Neil.
No,
So
no,
my-
it's-
Should have told me
it's
that
not-
in the show notes. Come
Yeah,
on.
no,
My bad.
in
No,
the
it's
prep.
totally valid.
So
totally valid.
mine's interesting. So like first of all, I'm using my Amazon app, which
Which it's a good variable because
Yeah.
I think that you're going to
Yeah.
be ideally you're delivered a whole different
which is
experience
what I do
on
all
the
the
app.
time. I never go on the line online. But I share that with the missus. Again, Mrs. Omni Talk. So there could be some funny things that pop up here. So bear in mind with me. But for the most part, I've got the 2-day parade of epic deals again, which we'll come back to because I think Carter, your point 20 minutes ago is really valid. I've got electronics, robotics. I've got something for like a 2-year-old, which I have no idea why that's on the list. A printer, a just launched deal for a printer. Lady Gaga launches beauty, which I guess is
I
all
saw
the
that
talk
today.
on Bloomberg, according to Matt Bowen. He just texted me.
Beauty industry is hot.
I'm curious if you have this link too, Ann. Do you have deals on top brands
Yes, I do.
And here are mine:
Okay.
Calvin Klein,
Yeah, we have the same ones.
which is weird. The Honest Company, Samsung, and Coleman. So they're basically probably, I'm assuming, paying for that placement.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like it's personalized to me. Then I've got all the Amazon devices, and then Save on Kitchen brands and stuff like that. So I got to tell you, Amazon, for how much you could speak to me on this day with things that are unique to me, I'm kind of disappointed because, Ann, I'm looking at the
We
same
have the
exact
same
things on your
things,
computer.
yeah.
That's actually really disappointing. That's a big swing and a miss, in my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree. It looks like we're all kind of looking at the same things. And I've been doing a lot of Amazon purchasing over the weekend. So I have some very recent purchases
right.
that they could
sure.
be applying to this, which I'm shocked.
So this goes back to, I think, what Carter, you were saying, and Neil, you and I were talking about this last week too. This is really like a Black Friday thing. Like, it's really like, it's not, and Carter, like you're saying, like once you get out of the experience of what they're serving up to you, it's just a standard Amazon experience. So you're just probably buying stuff at the same price as you would normally buy. It just has the feeling of being something super special.
I have a random question that just popped up. Is this applicable, Prime Day deals for the Prime Now deliveries? Do you guys know?
Well, there's one way to find out.
The
Maybe I can pull up
reason
Prime
that
Now,
I
which I just
Yeah,
used
why are
Prime
you
Now
asking?
last
The
week.
reason I bring this up is because for the viewers online, I'm going to describe this picture. My mom is watching my son today because we're doing the Amazon Prime live stream and just sent me this photo of him wearing her shoes to the zoo because I forgot to pack boys' shoes.
Oh,
Now,
nice.
they are at the
God,
zoo
that's so
and
funny.
they are going to be there all day. And instead of just wearing my mom's shoes, I'm wondering if the Prime deals would apply so that I could send in a couple of hours
That
some
poor kid.
actual
Oh my
shoes
God.
that fit my 8-year-old son.
Oh my God.
Do we think this is possible?
It's possible. Let's check it out.
It's a great use of Prime Now, and I have a Prime Now story. It looks like Prime Now is actually just reverting. Well, let's see if I can get one of these Fire Sticks. Added to cart. Let's go ahead and then check out. It looks like I am able to actually order via Prime Now at the Prime price. So, for example,
Wow.
Fire TV sticks were promoted within the Prime Now app
Yeah.
on the home screen. I'm able to add that to my cart and get delivery within 2 hours for $14.99.
Okay.
So, so the total cost of this, if I only got one with a $5 delivery fee because I'm under $30 or whatever that might be, would be $20 to have it at my door in 2 hours.
I think
Sure.
That makes sense, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's-
Yeah, I mean it's the
makes
same
sense that it
product.
works
It's just
the
a
same
different.
way.
It's just a different fulfillment method.
Yeah.
Now, and to your point, actually last week I used Prime Now in a really awesome way, and I was I've never been a hater of Prime Now. I just haven't had a need to have things that quickly.
Yeah.
For those that haven't used it, explain what it is too.
Yeah, so
you guys.
Prime Now is actually a secondary app, which is interesting, and you have an assortment of the same type of products that Amazon has. However, it's a little bit more limited based on the geographic location of the warehouses. The reason it's limited is because they guarantee delivery within 2 hours rather than a single day, and it's delivered by their fleet of, depending on the city you're in, it's fulfilled in different ways. But ultimately, I'm able to order whatever I want and have it show up in my door within 2 hours, and that's the Prime Now effect. Now, I would believe that these two experiences are going to start to come together as and the Amazon core business actually gets better at shipping. But for now, it's two separate businesses. So, example, to put it into the real world, and then we should get back to the Prime Day here. But as an example, I bought a new mountain bike last week. My family was in town, and I left my helmet up at the cabin. And if anyone knows mountain biking without a helmet, possible, but not only incredibly dangerous, but kind of taboo as well.
Yeah,
like you don't show up to the trail without a helmet.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
You get no street cred without.
You get no street cred. So the option was this: I could go down to the local store, and this is kind of sad now, I think, because it's an example of how Amazon completely stole it from whatever.
Yep.
I go to the local store and buy a nice new helmet for $100. That was an option. I could walk down to the nice bike shop in Minneapolis and buy it, but that'd be $100 for a helmet I didn't need because I know I'm getting my helmet back from the cabin here in a couple days. But I needed it that day. It was a busy day at work. I was going to take a half day. And so as I'm on my way in, I simply find a cheap bike helmet, a Schwinn bike helmet on Prime Now, and I pay the $5 because it was under $20. It was a $15 bike helmet, $5 for the shipping, and then $5 tip, and with a little bit of tax. And so I got a bike helmet for $26 that showed up, and it was sitting on my desk as I left my first meeting because they delivered it straight to our office, and the team just set it on my desk. And that experience added so much value to the day. Like there's no other imagine and like that is just me, but it's like start thinking about how lives are getting busy, people are paying for more time in their day, things like that. I was able with like basically 4 clicks to have a solution to this incredibly complex, diva of a problem within just a couple minutes, all thanks to Prime Now.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. So that's cool. So it's cool. So you can get that if you need to.
Yeah.
Stuff. So your kid doesn't have to go to school in his mom's shoes anymore.
In his grandmother's shoes.
Yes. But in his grandmother's shoes. You're right. Your mom's shoes.
Even more
Actually,
difficult.
that's probably
for him.
worse if it's your mom's shoes. But let's get back to that. So I think one of the big takeaways here is not a personalized experience today in any way, shape, or form. It's very much a Black Friday-like-ish experience in terms of like, if you want to be in that kind of deal fever, you want to get those types of products, you've got to actually search through those types of portals. You got to click on those types of experiences, which are fine. But again, it's kind of limiting in what the options are. Otherwise, you're just purchasing things because you've been holding out for this. So, Neil, what does that say to you? I'm curious because you and I talked about this a lot last week, and I wrote a lot on Forbes about, what is the applicability of this longer term in terms of what it means for retail, how retail could play out. Will we see more Prime Days? When will we see them? Like, how do you think about it? I was crazy enough to put on Forbes this week that I think Amazon could eventually do Prime Day every month. Like, where's your head on that?
And can I take a pause before that? It looks like we just had a little bit of interruption, so I want to make sure that we're up and running for everyone. Yeah, you guys keep talking. I want to make sure. Yep, and now we're reconnected as everything starts to boot back up.
Yeah. All right.
The joy of going 2 hours live and recording on an old Mac.
I've actually been surprised it's been working as well as it has.
Honestly, no joke. Yeah. So I'm hoping everything is back up and running. But
ticking up.
yeah, and if we can just wait 2 seconds while everything gets recording again, and got the spin wheel of death here, so it's totally fine. No, and
are we back live? We're back live.
Yeah, we're back
awesome.
live here.
Sorry
I just
for
wanted
that,
to.
everyone.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure that things were working.
Yeah,
obviously.
Well, let's start that conversation then, Neil. Like, what do you think? You think?
Yeah, I think it goes.
You read my post. You think I'm crazy?
I do think that you're off the mark, and I would bet heavy money against.
So why? Why do you think Amazon would never do a Prime Day every month?
Not never. It's just extremely highly unlikely for a myriad of reasons, which Chris and I had at least 30-minute debate last week about. First and foremost, I think it would dilute the entire Amazon Prime Day story. So right now, I don't know if everyone knows, this is the 5th iteration of Amazon Prime Day. It's 4 years old, and it is actually Amazon's birthday. So, or at least is it Amazon's birthday or Amazon Prime Day's birthday? Either way.
Wait, so there's actually there's actually a root to a tradition to this. It's not just a completely made up holiday.
Correct. They are good storytellers. So I believe it's either Prime's birthday or Amazon's birthday. Either way, it is the birth. And they're celebrating that. So I think if they would have won...
But it's a different day every year. So it's just like we're going to celebrate it around the day? Is that...
Are we sure it's a different day every day?
Yeah, it's a different... Yeah, it's the week of, yeah. Okay.
It's like the family reunion, it's like the 3rd Monday of August or whatever we're in.
It's like
right
your
now.
anniversary. You can't celebrate it actually the exact day every year, right? You pick the closest Saturday or Sunday.
I don't know about that.
Don't tell that to me.
So anyway, back to the point. One, I think it would cheapen the holiday, so they did a lot this year around it. They had promotion on Twitch. They had a Taylor Swift and Dua Lipa and Zach concert a few days ago, which only Amazon Prime members can view. I viewed that also before I entered my membership. It was okay. So there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of free media press around this. And if anything they move to monthly or more than once a month, as Chris postulated could be possible on the 1st and 15th, hitting paychecks. I think it just loses all the excitement, loses all the media. I think you would you'd quickly move to ignore it, and it would just go into the background noise. Where right now they have the entire retail world, marketing world, CNBC, Wall Street Journal, everyone's focused on this. And so I think it's a lot of free marketing as well as the world of commerce is paying attention right now. They move it to monthly. I think it cheapens it. I think it is as opposed to low-hanging fruit, a high-hanging fruit that it would be one of the last things they would do.
And I'm curious what you think, because there is a definite divide here
Yes.
between Neil, Carter, and the two of us. That's actually a theme that's become clear to me in the last hour.
The divide of age?
Generationally, yes, the divide.
Oh.
Divide is age, absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Chris was born in the 30s.
How old is everyone? Let's just do birthdays real quick. Or how does this work?
I don't know. Every time I make fun of Chris a little bit, it's in good love, but I just keep pushing his birth date back and further and further into
Pretty
the past.
soon it's going to be like caveman.
Yeah.
days.
To be fair, though, at this point, he's Captain America. He's just been living forever.
I was old enough to go to a Richie Valens concert. Yeah, right.
No one
Something
even
like
knows who that is.
Right, exactly.
I not know who that is.
Exactly.
Oh,
my God,
guys,
that's so
come on.
sad. Old enough to ask Carter
What's
if he was
old is
getting
new
every
again?
blind spot in the video or every bald spot in the videos today. But one of the things that's very clear to me is actually like generationally how we're thinking about it, and it might not necessarily be generationally as it is kind of life stage differences too. How do you think about what Neil said?
So the only thing that
Like, would we not be excited about it, or would we?
Well, I again, like you keep saying, excitement is this emotion that you feel around buying, and I maybe am like Debbie Downer on buying things, but
No, that's
excitement
fair.
is not the word that I would use
I
to describe.
think
Whoa.
that's a really.
We got
whoops, sorry
Twitch
to
live
interrupt
here, so I'm going to
everyone.
pull out of
Oh,
that because that's a little
Twitch.
crazy.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to talk about, our users can't hear that, so don't worry, guys. It's totally
No
fine.
worries. Well, let's get back to
So
Anna's point.
the only thing that I would say is that I think that when you're thinking about Prime Day every month, I do think it makes sense, because if you remove the like major purchases, the TVs, the like major electronics purchases, I don't think those necessarily need to happen every month. But if there was a Prime Day every month or twice a month on the 1st and the 15th, where you knew that like your stock up items, again, like your toilet paper, your paper towels, diapers, all of these like repeat purchases that you're making, if you knew that those things on those days were going to be 35-40% off, it wasn't about saving coupons anymore for Pampers and all the other stuff that people have to do now to try to kind of plan out these restock purchases every month, would that drive you to maybe shift from a Walmart or a Target purchase to an Amazon purchase?
Okay, still flatline disagree, and I will
Why?
say this.
Yeah,
Start
let's
the
talk.
debate. Because I'm actually more in Anne's camp now than I was over the weekend, just in terms of listening to her talk. And you're right. I think excitement's not the right word. Like, I wouldn't use like, and I'm not super excited about it. Like, I'm not like setting my.
Interesting fun fact is that according to research that we saw published on CNBC, last year's Prime Day was worth about 4.1 billion. Researchers estimate this year they think it could be 5 to 6. As a fact,
Yeah, what do you think?
Singles Day,
Yeah,
I believe
Singles
2
Day.
years ago in China did more than $20 billion. I think it was something like 27 billion.
Yeah, massive.
So
Yeah, I want
it's
to say
pretty
the number
crazy.
in my head was like 30 this year, 30,
Yeah.
I'll see if I can
last
find
year.
it quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we threw up a new live stream because the other one was lagging down, and you know, so people were following us online. Thanks for the patience with that whole thing. It's still live on Omni Talk's Facebook page, which is the go-to for everything. I just pulled up Amazon here on Twitter just to kind of showcase a little bit what we're seeing. Oh, interesting. The Prime Day strike. That's another thing I guess we could talk about. It gets a little political, so you know, depending on what's going on.
Yeah, I
but
forgot about, that's one
because that hits us home here in Minnesota,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's something that you know is gonna is pretty apparent. Yeah, it's interesting. Can we talk about Taylor?
Actually,
Did I
go ahead,
did I
yeah.
black out during the Taylor Swift live performance conversation? Did we talk about that at all?
We just said it happened a few days ago.
But we
the
didn't.
live stream, yes.
How do I see it?
Yeah, that was my question too. Like, how Neil, you seem like you were pretty wired in on that. How does one see? How was one supposed to have seen the Taylor Swift live concert?
I mean, I did it as I did with all things, and I Googled it and then got to some.
And that was how you got it?
Amazon splash page.
And then you can watch it.
Splashing page. It's a really exciting splash page.
Yeah, exactly. Then you
Wait,
can
so if
watch
I just
and
Google
and it's
it?
like 20 minutes of. It's like a 2-hour concert or so, and I would say Taylor's portion is about 20 minutes of it. Just she does, maybe 4 or 5 songs at most. But it seemed pretty cool. It was in New York City. Yeah, it was an interesting experience. I think it's a great way to drive users at least into the ecosystem for the concert, and then I'm sure they have estimated attrition rates after the fact, in terms of
this
the
is
overall net
brutal. Her Scooter
impact.
Braun stuff got more attention than actually her Prime Day performance itself. Like if you look at like the Google results we're seeing here, like this is fascinating to understand like what happened. Like I'm sure this wasn't a cheap little thing to do for Amazon. I think, and it brings up a bigger conversation. Neil, 10 minutes.
Taylor Swift too.
No, I know. Neil, like 10 minutes ago, you had a really great download on a bunch of stuff I wanted to bring up, but it's this idea of the conglomeration of all Amazon platforms into Prime Day. So if we look at like live streaming platforms like Twitch, like how are they taking advantage of these things? Like if I can't see the Taylor Swift concert, like, and ultimately we're living in the bubble, Neil, that you described. Like aren't we kind of the core consumer of people who would potentially want to tune into that? Like maybe not Taylor Swift specifically, but some of this more entertainment type of thing. And as Amazon tries to, is this the standard diagram, Chris, we talk about all the time, but as Amazon tries to become more a part of our day-to-day instead of just searching at 8 o'clock in the morning for the T-shirts we need, like how come they didn't, it seems like they put up the dollars. It seems like they did a big enough push in terms of financially. But I feel this whole thing went by with under the radar. And Neil, you've pulled up too. It's like a Prime Day concert promo. Is that something that we're supposed to watch on Amazon Video, later?
Exactly. So you can watch it on Amazon Prime Video. You can watch it on your web browser as well. So I Google searching it actually found it very difficult to find to replicate for you guys. So I just went to Amazon.com, searched Taylor Swift concert, and then it comes up as a Prime Day concert. And it is presented by Amazon Music, but it is fed to you via Amazon's Prime Video platform. But you can do that on your browser as well.
Interesting. Yeah, that's wild. Carter, while you're moving here, let's take a look at some competition. We said we're going to do that. We haven't done that yet.
Yeah, totally.
We can come back to the
Can we go to
Prime Day prognostication game.
Where do you want to go first?
Let's go. Let's take a look at our local. Let's take a look at Target. I bet there's people out there.
Oh, I
that
just got a notification on my Target app that our biggest sale of the summer online only starts today.
Wow, that's coincidental.
And coincidental, right? But I also think based on the comments we've seen, ultimately,
see what we got.
And before we jump into this, 2 fun facts. So we said we estimate peg Amazon's Prime Day to be worth somewhere between $5 and $6 million in revenue this year. Right. Last year's single day at Alibaba did gross merchandise value of $31 billion.
Yeah, it was 30.
And then the Prime Day concert 2019 has 3.5 stars out of 5 on Amazon.com. So,
well,
anyway, back to Target.
Yeah, Carter's. Well, all right, let's look at Target. So Target, wow, look at this. Definitely going after the doorbuster deals.
Doorbuster,
approach.
I don't know. What do you guys think of that name? I just think of my old aunt when I think of doorbuster. I think of someone who showed up at a JCPenney at 5 a.m. in order to get some fabric for discount.
May have busted an actual door.
Potentially.
I mean, it's interesting to think about because they're actually playing the store angle there with that word. That's traditionally a store angle, like door busting deals, right? Are people actually lining up at stores for these deals, or are these, how are people thinking about this, or what could you do with this? I guess is the question there. Man, it's taking a long time.
I know,
to
good
load
old
that
internet
page for it's probably us, I would imagine, but.
You could look it up here. The other thing you should do is load it on your.
Yeah, let's try another site. Let's try Walmart. Let's see what Walmart's doing.
Boom. Let this thing load.
And we can talk about it too if you guys are seeing it on your phones or whatnot. Oh, just gotta note that the audio went dead again. Are we still live streaming?
Yeah, it's a little delayed, so I'm happy to reconfigure too if we need. It's our first time going live here in the studio, and we're doing a 2-hour event, which I'm sure is really kind.
Go big or go home.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Walmart's The Big Save. That's what they're calling their event today.
Oh, wow.
So let's see here. What can you buy?
Yeah, how are they oriented? Is it kind of like doorbuster feel? What do we got here?
No, I mean it's just traditional scrolling. They definitely don't have the big splash page that Target does, talking about the deal days.
And it's not correlated directly with the actual days. Like Target says, Target's 15th and 16th.
Yeah,
this is what's going on.
Hey.
Target is very outward and open with their approach to.
Wow, Walmart's
Prime
page
Day
looks like a standard day.
Yeah,
it's like a standard day. What happens if you scroll down?
Great deals all day, every day, all year.
To Neil's point, it's the lowest prices every day. So Walmart
valid.
shouldn't have to change anything.
That's like kissing
for
my
Prime Day.
sister, Walmart. What are you doing?
You're damn right,
That
Ant.
makes
It's
no
like kissing my sister.
R.I.P.
Jeez.
Sam
It's
Walton.
like a tie in football. Come on, guys. What are you doing over there? I guess too many people have left Walmart recently to put anything up on their webpage. Oh, sorry, burn. Ow. What else? We got, what about eBay?
Oh my God, that was like a grade school burn right
Well, they just
there.
lost their head. Like, I think they just, what was the guy's name? They just lost the guy. This hasn't even been reported yet, I don't think. But so, let me take a look.
Breaking news on the
I
Prime
don't
Day
know.
live
I
feed.
don't know, but they're losing. They're dropping like flies. There's a lot of things going on. Recode's reported that a bunch. Like, yeah, I mean, kind of. I don't know. It's kind of a pathetic showing, you guys. Let's get something out there, in my opinion. But, yeah. What about eBay? They were doing the whole like crash event, right? Like,
Yeah.
in honor of the fact that the website crashed for Amazon last year.
Yes, they sure were. And on eBay's website, I'm not seeing they just have their hottest deal of the day. I'm not seeing anything in particular on eBay right now that's calling attention to the specific attack on the Amazon Puppy Day, as they
The
called
puppy
it.
day? Is that what they called it?
Well, you know,
'cause the
when they
puppy comes
crashed
up when
last
they have to
year,
throttle the
yeah, they
volume.
had to
Yeah.
they had to put the little pictures
Oh, the
of cute
dogs.
puppies
That's
up so that
right.
you would
Because
be
the office
distracted.
dogs. Yeah.
Which works if you like dogs. If you don't, it has the opposite effect.
Well, but who doesn't like dogs? I mean, dogs are
I
an
don't
amazing
know anyone.
animal.
I don't
Definite
know
sign
anyone.
of sociopath.
Yeah.
Wait, if you don't like dogs, is a sign of
Yeah,
sociopath?
don't out yourself. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah. I love dogs. What are you kidding?
No,
me?
these guys
Still
don't
love
like
them in
dogs.
my-
Neither of them
I
like
just don't
dogs.
love them in my house.
No,
None
I
of
don't
them
know
like
what you're
dogs.
talking about.
You don't like even photos of dogs?
Oh, who doesn't?
I
Like
mean,
photos of dogs?
We can.
Wait, I
we
think
can
we're
ap-
onto something.
We can appreciate dogs. We just are not people that should have them in our house.
I think that's a totally
for the
variant.
dog's sake first and ours second.
Yeah, I think that's
We're
a
just-
different conversation.
yeah.
I'm just saying. Do you
But
not
yes.
enjoy looking at puppy pictures?
I would rather be able to buy something than to look at a picture of a puppy if that's what I'm on the site to do.
Like,
but,
shit, okay? Let's have this debate. What's better, a cat video or a dog video?
oh God, dog video 1,000 times over.
Oh, I'd say
I'm gonna let you battle this out as I go
Agreed.
check some stream stuff
All right,
outside. But yeah,
we're gonna do some tech.
Everything
Thanks
is
for
still
sticking with
alive.
us
It's all
out
good.
there. Appreciate it, you guys. All right, so it looks like the dog debate is a losing argument for Ann and I.
Yes.
So I'm not even sure I want to have it anymore.
Can we go back to the retailers that are going to be around
Yeah,
still?
for sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
for
go.
Yeah, let's finish
In
that.
fact, we're running out. We're kind of getting close on time anyway. All right, so the retailers. So again, Prime Day prognostications. It's our new segment. JCPenney's, we all unanimously said will not be here in 10 years. Sorry, JCPenney's.
I will say
Apologize.
this. I would have
Okay.
said the same thing about Sears and Kmart 10 years ago.
Right.
It is very hard to kill a retailer, even if that includes the greatest recession of the last 70 years.
That's very true.
So I don't even know if 10 years is enough, but we will say that
Is there a number that makes you confident? 10, 20?
25 years, it's highly confident Sears, Kmart, JCPenney will not be on the face of
Because
the
maybe we can
American
push this up.
landscape.
Maybe that's a good call. Maybe we'll say 20. Let's say 20 years. Let's make the horizon
Okay.
20 years. I think it's a good call because 10 years is pretty fast.
I mean,
Heck, I've been blogging for 2.
and there's still somehow a Sears here. You know, there are Sears all around the country, which I don't think anyone would have expected
That's a good
5 years
point.
ago.
All right, this one's a little tougher and this one's a little more regional, but I think you guys will get it. Safeway. The grocery question.
I believe they will still be around. Maybe not under the Safeway brand. Does that count? Like if they're acquired or merge or create a new kind of like white label Safeway, does that still count? Or we're saying that's a totally new brand?
Let's say they're still like a thriving kind of storefront branded name.
Yes. I'll say yes.
What do you think, Neil?
10 years, I would have been confident, yes. 20 years, I'll say no. I think
Why?
Ann's onto something. No, I think someone will just buy them. I think grocery's super hard. They have really good real estate. There's a lot of trip habits built in it for the consumers and head of households, et cetera, et cetera. I think somebody will probably come along and buy them out of bankruptcy or some sort of debt distress situation. But the name being here in 20 years, I think that's doubtful.
It sounded really heady. Yeah, this is one where this was the toughest one on the list you'll see that I put together for me too. It's just so hard to know where that industry's going, and it could just change still so radically in terms of the habits of our lives. So yeah, I am inclined to say actually that will not be here.
Ooh.
Believe it or not, but I'm like kind of 51-49 on that one. Okay, this one's fun. Neil and I talked a lot about this one last week too, just in our day-to-day working lives. Bed, Bath, and Beyond. Gone.
Yeah.
20 years gone. Bed Bath & Beyond.
Never been in a Bed Bath & Beyond, so
Yeah. And
Don't know.
there's your reason why.
I'm going to say it's gone.
Yeah.
And Carter is
Don't
married
change
with
my
kids,
life.
and he's never been to a Bed Bath & Beyond.
What
I
do you
think
buy there?
that tells you
Beds and
something.
baths?
Everything that you can buy on Amazon
And beyond.
except if you want a worse experience.
Or
buying
Wayfair.
it.
Except good brands. Like, you actually can't buy some of the brands in theory, unless
Yet.
third-party sellers
Maybe
are selling
within-
them. But
yeah.
you
Can-
shouldn't actually be able to get some of the brands.
I wish we had a whiteboard in here because what we could do is we could put things, because I have these great stories I want to tell. It's completely not related to this, though.
Great stories are fantastic. Let's hear Neil's answer,
Yeah, that's
and then let's hear your story. Anecdotes are fantastic. Neil's
Easy
prediction.
answer, no, they won't be here. I'm shocked that they're even still worth $1.4 billion.
I still think they have amazing
doesn't look like a
assets.
great
They just got to
history.
figure out how to play this. They got to
It's a
figure out
terrible
how to play
chart.
this.
From an investment perspective.
Neil's
this
got
would be a
the
huge
Bed Bath
loser.
& Beyond stock price over time here. Over the last 5 years,
Oh,
it's like a nice
a
little ski hill.
roller coaster at Magic Mountain.
They were worth about $80 in February 2015.
Numbers are ticking back
Now
up,
they're
Carter.
worth
Good job on the
$11.
electronics.
Well, you know, we got rid of the cameras because I think our smooth and silky voices are more reliable
Oh,
and
really?
more
Okay.
pleasurable.
Yeah, well,
So
that's-
Ooh, no one's ever said that about my voice.
I'm
before.
gonna
that's true,
let's just
too.
pretend that
Although
never
I do
happened.
think generally people probably like listening to me than looking at me. That's probably true. So. What's your anecdote, Carter?
Okay, my anecdote was I had this really unexpected good experience over the weekend at a retail store.
Oh,
You ready for
gosh.
this?
Unexpected.
Yes.
Wow,
Drum
I don't know.
roll.
I can't wait to hear what this is.
Men's Warehouse.
Ooh,
wow.
not what I was
Wow.
expecting.
Yeah.
Wow,
Do
out
tell.
of left field.
Okay, so my sister's getting married,
Yeah.
and I'm in the wedding, and we chose to get, or the groom chose to get, gear from Men's Warehouse. Awesome,
Yeah.
perfect. There's Men's
Oh,
Warehouse in
that's where you
Southdale.
had to go.
Yeah, that's where the
Alright,
that's where the
sure.
gear is, right? Now I won't get into the full. There's another story about when I got married. We made the mistake of going to Jose Banks, and let me tell
Terrible
you,
mistake.
that would be a whole podcast I could tell you about. It was 6 hours I spent there. Let's not go into it. Anyway, so I was ready. I was prepared. I was patient. I was like, let's do this, right?
You had a feeling it could.
And I got there, and it wasn't busy. I'll
Yeah.
say that. There were a lot of associates. It wasn't busy, and I got paired up with an awesome guy, associate, younger guy, and I just asked him, like, any of your retail nerds, like, oh, how long have you worked here? He's like, 4 years. I'm like, sweet. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And so, go through the whole fitting process, and like he pulled up the wedding, no problem. It's a weird number, pulled up everything. I'm like, this is going downhill. He got all the stuff in the room. He was able to, get everything fitted and everything like that. And then he's like, all right, well, we got to get the tailor out here. And, he brings a tailor in, and he's like, oh, we got to put some shoes on you, all this stuff. And I was like, wow, this is like pretty fancy. These aren't just like fitting shoes. He's like, I'm like, are you trying to get me to buy these shoes? He's like, no, this is the new fitting experience that we've been trained on just a couple weeks ago. And I said, oh, tell me more about that. He's like, well, we take every fitting pretty seriously, and we take a lot of time to ensure that it's the perfect fit for everyone. And so no longer are the days of shared socks and shared fitting shoes, because, you need to wear shoes to get your pants, right?
Yeah.
He's like, we try to figure out what shoes would be best for the outfit, and then we get those off the shelf for you and ensure that they fit well. And so it was the whole shoehorn thing. It was the whole, like, beautiful shoes. He did the whole thing, and then they were missing one of the sizes for me, and they went to this new iPad app he had, and he was sitting there, and he just pulled it right up. He's like, cool, we'll get you paid for this. We got your discount all taken care of. This is going to be shipped here on Thursday. You'll get an email from me when that happens. We'll get everything tailored, and we'll have everything ready for you by Monday morning. Does that sound good? I said, yeah, it sounds great. And 20 minutes later, I had a whole record and receipt of everything that had happened that day sitting in my inbox. Now, I would say that's the baseline for expectation today, right? That's something that we assume left and right. We assume that high touch experience, especially when you're paying a couple $100 for a shirt and some pants. But I would just say Men's Warehouse was kind of the last place I expected for that to be upheld, and they did a really good job meeting the baseline of what my expectations were. And I think that though I would put them in a category of places we don't necessarily want to spend a ton of time, it was quite pleasant. So
yeah, I mean, that's where it's the second time this week actually that's happening. The omni-channel model in that type of business actually is really strong. Like, it fits really well.
give me an example of the omnichannel model in that, and like
By that I mean like where there's just natural places for you to use technology and human interaction together with the design of the space to make it really a valuable experience. Like, it's still, you could try to do all of that online, but actually having the ability to physically go in there and have somebody that knows your measurements and understands you and then can coordinate different things with you real time for that specific use case is still, I think, really valuable.
they still have
really
a long,
important
they still
if
have a long
done
ways to
well.
go.
Oh, for sure. But it's at least easier to figure out how you could make that a better experience. Whereas I think if you try to say, how do you make a department store a better experience?
Sure.
That's a much more difficult battle.
Right.
Although some of the department stores could play certain angles of that too. But we're specialty retail. How do you make that a better experience? Like if your brand's in a tough spot, like it's a much tougher question, which I think we'll get to as we kind of get through this list. I think some of those trends become obvious as we start to talk about, just as we started here with Prime Day and how it's working, what it's doing, what its potential could be, and then ultimately like what happens to some of these retailers 20 years out. So this next one, Ann, you'll love this one, Victoria's Secret.
So I want there to be a better option.
We changed this to 20 years, by the way.
Yeah,
20 years.
20 years.
Ooh.
20 years. Victoria, does she still
Anyone that's
keep her
baked on a
secrets?
mall, like on a mall experience.
But Carter, they're not just banked on a mall experience. I mean,
Yeah, but how
being
are
the
most-
only woman on this podcast,
Yeah, I
let
know,
me tell
sorry.
you, no one has
I'll shut up.
disrupted the bra industry yet. They
What
still
about
have
Third
not.
Love?
No,
Okay.
they're okay, like
Trying to.
getting there, but nobody has done it. And why? I can't tell you. I don't know what the deal is. I would hope I'm gonna be an optimist here. I'm gonna say that Victoria's Secret is still around, but it goes the way of Sears in 20 years, and someone better has come along to make bra purchasing and wearing
It's not what it
1,000
once was.
times
It's a
better.
shell of its former self.
Yeah, or however, the only other option would be that Victoria's Secret is a different, more experiential company, I would say, in 20 years than just focused on
Probably
selling.
have to be.
Yeah.
Like you said before.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think, Neil?
I would say no. I mean, I think
Wow.
it's a confluence of factors. I think they're anchored in malls primarily. I think their leadership is the same leadership, I believe, as Abercrombie and Fitch, which has shown to not move in step.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Isn't it the same ownership group?
L Brands?
I thought it was.
Check it out. Let's
I think
verify.
it's
Fact check.
Bath and Body
Yeah, I
Works.
thought it owns that
Too
too.
many BBBs.
It's out of that same area. Though.
Yeah.
I thought it
Limited.
was Lex Wexner. Yeah, Limited Brands.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, I thought that Lex Wexner also controlled A&F at one point when I was looking up his bio. I'll report back on how true or false that is. Short
Well,
story.
he's yeah. Okay.
Short story is
We'll
I
check
feel
that in a
like
sec.
they've shown Victoria's Secret itself has shown some non-so in-step ideas around body positivity and plus size and all of that the last few years, and I think that's really damaged their brand. And I think for a younger generation, they would have to pivot pretty quickly to stay in stride. And I'm male. I've never, used any of their products myself, and so I can't speak more intelligently than the few words I've already chosen to say.
Yeah. What do you think, Carter?
And that's the thing is that I've never experienced the store, so I don't know. I can only go off the variables that Neil talked about a little bit, which were all about they're mall stores. They can't get more stereotypical than that. You see a bunch of brands. So can we make a compare? See, I don't want to misspeak here because I don't know these brands, but I was trying to think, can you make a comparison to someone like Glossier who has built this online following and this love, right, for their customers,
Yeah.
and then delivered a product maybe not in the most convenient way, where I think that if Victoria's Secret's the inverse of that, I don't know a ton of people who have this following and passion for the Victoria's Secret brand, but maybe once again, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think if I had to peg this one, I actually think they'll be around. I think what you're going to see here too is you're going to see for every trend there's a counter trend. I think the trend will snap back. I think it's really interesting to listen to my mom talk about the Me Too movement. Hi, Mom, if you're listening somewhere. Where it's kind of a new movement iteration on the 70s. I don't know if you've had that conversation with your parents too, but so it's popped up again. Is it great? Yes. Well, what keeps continuing to happen? And then, but things change, right? And so I could see it rebranding itself or refashioning itself in some way too that actually hits home in say 10, 12 years or so, maybe even shorter. And to your point, Ann, I think it still provides some value too. So I this one's harder of the full list. This one's actually harder for me to say will go away, but
Yeah, I think you're seeing some of the big box retailers too start to capture some of that share. Just this weekend, I was talking to some other girlfriends about Target is now carrying True & Company, which was a online company similar to a Third Love. And so they're starting to bring that in there, not only to make it more approachable from a cost point perspective, because, not that you guys need to know this, but a bra at Victoria's Secret is about $60. You're spending, if you're a woman, you're spending at least about $60 at one of these companies, whether it's Nordstrom or a specialty bra boutique, like $60 is kind of your baseline for a bra. So what some of these other companies and direct-to-consumer brands have tried to do, and including those big box retailers, is bring that price point down, but then provide a more accessible, greater sizes and opportunities for different body types, and make that something that is a simpler purchase. But still, I don't think there's nobody that's winning at that yet. But I don't know. We'll see. Like, I think like Target came out with their own brand too. I'm sure Walmart's going to be working on doing an own brand of their lingerie and bras and underwear and that whole line for women, intimates. But no one's winning that game yet. So I think Victoria's Secret, until that happens, still will be around.
Yeah, and can I ask
people try too.
A question? Third Love was on ad for them recently as well, where they talk about how they showed a lot of users who were like, oh, I didn't realize that I was a half cup. I didn't even know half cups were a possibility before.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense why bras I've purchased in the past did not fit well. Were half cups available prior to Third Love, as far as you know? Do you know?
If you went to a specialty bra retailer, you could basically have a custom bra made for you, but not to the masses. Like, you can't go to Victoria's Secret and be like, I want an A1.5 cup or something like that. So yeah,
I got.
It's a good question, Neil.
I got breaking news. I was just served J. Crew products on my Prime Day home screen.
You were
on your Prime Day home screen?
Yeah,
wow,
on my Amazon home screen.
Mercantile
yeah,
line,
well, that was the shirt I was going to buy you.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just show you here
I looked
quick.
at that and I was like, wow, I can see why.
Yeah, so look at this. Save up to 50% on J. Crew Mercantile clothing. Look at this. Remember, we talked about J. Crew on a podcast.
Yeah, and we said this was a terrible idea. Now I see why. You're discounting your brand at 50% on Amazon.
Sorry, Carter. It wasn't just you. I also got a.
So this is a timed, non-personalized thing again.
But that's part of okay. So like let's like revert our focus back to straight Prime Day. Kind of the idea is, even though it's 2 days, we still have 40 hours and 21 minutes remaining ultimately in the Prime Day deals. Like, the idea is it continues to roll. Like, is that like, are we? Once again, I'm a big person. This like whole idea, Amazon's trying to become more of a discovery destination. That's why I think the whole Taylor Swift thing completely disappoints me. The fact that I didn't see that happening, and I'm gonna have to wait for it to come out in Prime Video. But am I going to continue, if I'm sitting at my desk or I'm cruising around today, am I going to continue to try to log back into Amazon in order to try to figure out what ultimately is the new deal? Like, are they going to continue to roll out? If I'm going to refresh the home screen here in 2 hours, is something going to be completely different?
I don't know. I mean, I think that's I guess I was expecting this to be a little bit more along the lines of like your flash sites, where it is like, I feel like at one point in time, Amazon Prime was like, there's only a certain number of these types of things available, and you have to there's some urgency associated. And now I feel like there's none of that. Like, it's just, now, like back when the Instapot was the big deal, like there were only so many Instapots you could get within these days, like within this time frame. And now it's like, just doing deals.
Yeah, I think the hard thing for me is like, was that deal already live on the site before, or did it really just launch and they're just now promoting it? I mean, like, I don't mind you just now promoting it, I guess, because you can do that through social media and through the actual homepage screen if you want to, if I'm happening to check back in, or I'm seeing on my social media feed. But yeah, if they're kind of just launching these deals as you go, I don't know, that's interesting. It's how do you play that out and make it capture what you want? But this seems weird to me. I don't know why you would do this. I also don't know what it says about J. Crew. Like, to me, I would be like, what the hell if I was J. Crew's board? Like, why am I on Prime Day at 50% off as one of the top featured deals? At what time is it? It's 9:40 in the morning on Monday. Give me a break.
Can I
ask, kill my brand? I mean, it's awful.
Can I ask for a more positive thing to talk
Sure.
about next? We didn't get to cover what we thought we were each going to buy, which was my favorite segment of this whole thing.
Let's close.
Before we close it up, can we make sure that we put that on the list?
We definitely will come
about?
back to that. Yeah, I wanted to get to that one too. I thought that would be fun. Let's do a couple more though. So Victoria's Secret, let's split on. Let's do this real quick. Let's finish out the list, but let's do like rapid fire for everyone, and then we can close out with that. So I'm going to just say some things, and let's say yes, no, really quickly. All right, here we go. You guys ready? This one's fun. Kohl's. Ann.
No.
Neil.
No.
Wow, unanimous. I'm the same way. I like this one. Glossier. It's tough.
20 years?
It's tough. 20 years. Is it still around? 20 years. This one's tough.
No, it's acquired.
Is it still Glossier though? Like is the
It's a
brand?
It's a sub brand.
Like
It's a line.
brand of something.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. So it's not what we think it is today.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Carter.
Wow. Even though we're so big on this.
Yeah.
I think the reckoning is coming. Money isn't free anymore.
Yeah.
Money isn't free anymore. Well, I hope that day comes too. I would say yes. I think they could be the next. She could be the next Martha Stewart.
Yeah, I hope so. I sure as hell hope so. But man, yeah, they got to make the
That
right
beauty
moves.
game has been running for a long time, and there are a lot of major players that are in that space.
Mm-hmm.
And when Estee Lauder comes to you and says, we are going to offer you X number of dollars, you can still be Glossier, but we'll pay for all of your placements in store. We'll increase your distribution. We'll cut everything in half. Like the board of Glossier's, it's going to be a hard thing to turn down.
Yeah. This is going to be how much does the founder want it?
Right.
I think.
Yep.
You know, to be what it could be, and it's going to be interesting to see in terms of, or do the investors want their money? Okay. Local Target.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. The one-stop shop still has a ton of applicability. Macy's.
No.
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 Yeah, me neither. Totally no. 100% no. Best Buy.
It's gonna look different. It'll be open, but it'll look
You think
different.
it'll be open?
Yep.
I think it'll be open. I think it's going to become totally, it'll be a service industry, not a purchase
It
industry.
has to be completely reformed.
Yeah.
Look at it. Yeah.
Agree with that.
You think it'll still be around?
And services. I don't know how it's still around. To be frank, I mean Hubert totally deserves a lot of credit. But yeah, if they survive in 20 years, it'll be services only. There's no other way for. them
So they have to have a
differentiate.
massive pivot though to survive.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. I can go with that one. All right, this is my personal favorite, and this is the last one on the list. The Gap. Iconic brand, Americana. You think it was in Stranger Things. If you haven't watched it, it was
I
the
saw.
signature store in the mall of Stranger Things. And it should be, quite frankly. I think if you think of a mall, Gap is probably the store outside of the anchor
You forgot
department
about
stores.
Chips Ahoy, the ice cream
That's
place.
so funny.
Full disclosure: Chris started his career at the Gap.
I did. I
That's fair.
started my career at the Gap. Yeah, absolutely. That's why it's a personal one for me. I love this brand. I don't think there's actually a brand I love.
It's iconic.
More
Look at
than
Champion.
this.
Like, look at the Champion brand coming back around. I think Gap's got to shed some weight, but
You know what I
But
think?
Champion's always been more of a wholesale brand.
no, I
like
know, but
what, like getting back to the core, like of what so it's a little different from the core of what we do. But like, rapid fire? What do you think? And Gap.
I think in 20 years it's going to be Gap for Amazon Essentials.
No Gap.
If I was Amazon, I'd actually think about buying these guys there because they're in some tough shape. Carter.
yes, I said. I think they shed some weight, and I think they're acquired.
You think
The
they're-
Amazon acquire that idea is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they're done. I think I hate to say it, but every time I walk in the store, I think it's done. Like I don't see it.
Okay, but
Maybe Old Navy survives on its own. I don't know.
can we go on a quick
Yeah.
tangent, or are we still going down
No,
the
of
list?
course. Go ahead.
They're gonna need. I think Amazon's gonna need to either create its own brand and pump a bunch of money behind it, or acquire a brand that people can think is cool again. Because I think too many personal stories, but I it's like I own some amazing shorts that are Amazon Essentials, like, and they're tagged Amazon Essentials,
Yeah.
and they're amazing. Like,
Yeah.
they're just black shorts, which is fine. I think someday Amazon's going to need to figure out a way to either elevate their clothing brand or purchase a brand that they can make cool. Because I think clothing and style has always been so rooted in brand.
What do you say to the $7 billion in Kirkland's signature
Well,
clothing
that's
sales?
you should
then,
tell that
Carter?
example with your
'Cause,
brother.
yes.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah. So maybe then I'm referring to the bubble again that Neil always likes to bring up, which is perfect because, I think
And who's
you,
shopping for what?
Yeah.
you have basics that I think are so key to probably the majority of people, as I prove myself wrong here. I think Amazon Basics is fine. Jeans, solid color t-shirts, hoodies, jackets. But like when you start to think of the brands you're quote unquote wearing, like, is that important to anyone?
I mean, I think there's an entire Instagram and fashion world that would say absolutely yes. I think for your core basics, you could probably sub in Amazon Basics or other generic high quality items. But I think there's still a huge world of people obsessed with Prada, Gucci, and other brands for brand reasons.
The
I think,
upper echelon of them, right?
and
Or
even
the
and even
perceived upper
here,
echelon. Yeah.
or perceived.
But that's a different game, right? Like to your point, Kirkland doesn't play that. Walmart,
Yeah, I agree.
Walmart, the largest retailer in the United States, has
Yeah.
never played in that.
No, I think there's room
And
for all of them. Is what I'm
Amazon
saying.
can grab all of that, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not. I'm saying Amazon can't grab all of it because there's
No,
still
not
a
all of
story.
it. But they can grab Kirkland. They can grab
Absolutely.
Walmart's business, Target's
Absolutely.
apparel business, even the Gap's. I mean, to some degree, the Gap's basic business. Like you could grab all of that.
I imagine if my brother.
Tell your brother's
who is
story.
So my brother, 36.
Hi, John.
Hi, John. 36-year-old millennial man informed me on his birthday
Awesome.
last weekend that he orders every season 4 pairs of the same shorts from Costco and shirts through the Costco app, no less. He went in one time several years ago, bought the same pair of shorts, and has just repeat purchased. Now he just uses the app to buy it again and again. So I tell you, when my brother, who puts that same Alexa dot in now his bedroom because he's purchased 2 more on Prime Day, when he decides that he can try, it's just going to be that first, like, getting over the first threshold of trying that Amazon Essentials short, or maybe hearing that Carter really likes these Amazon Essentials shorts that are an affordable product and get you through the season. If he will now be ordering and repeat ordering that same pair of Amazon Essentials because it's simpler, it's easier, and he doesn't have to do anything else but tell his Alexa in his closet, order me a pair of shorts in black, navy, and khaki for this summer. Is that a possibility? Do you think we can get people to convert?
Basics, absolutely.
Yeah?
Basics for sure. I'm a huge fan of them.
only,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yes.
The intersection of your brother's Costco experience with now what we've been talking about with Alexa in the bedroom, like huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he would do that all day till the cows come home.
Sure. Nothing else to do, right?
Right.
Just kidding.
Yeah, right.
No, but it does point to the case of convenience is key. And if Amazon can create the basics and it's really easy to get that and they're durable for one season and affordable, I mean, it's everything, the trifecta coming together.
Yeah, and I think we should prove that out.
Good,
We should run a
fast,
test. I mean, you basically thought I should buy basics, and I said I should buy some basics. So let's give it a shot. We'll try
Yeah.
it out today, and then if it works, I'll just start reordering them on Alexa.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a power of the brand, like, so like I finally bought some Lululemon shorts, and holy cow, they're amazing.
Oh my
They-
God.
but
Wow.
I
Sorry.
chose not to look at the receipt for a second,
Yeah.
and then looked
Yeah.
at them, and they were $80.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
ridiculous.
But I
It's
love,
so
like, I
expensive.
mean, they're so nice.
They are
And is
great.
the question is, like, can Amazon replicate that quality without a brand? Like, how much of that feeling that I love those shorts is related to the fact that Lululemon is such a prominent brand versus the actual pair of shorts that I'm owning?
I don't know. I bet they'll hold up for you pretty.
I bet they'll
decent
hold
amount
up
of time.
great.
Longer
yeah.
than your Amazon Essentials shorts.
Yeah, that's
though.
true.
That would be
Yeah,
my
so
bet.
Yeah,
but
if
that's
it
knows?
represents
that's
the
the balance.
quality and the aesthetic feel. Like, sure, I'd buy them over Amazon,
Right.
but that's also harder to do than you think. I think as well sometimes, but depending on what goes into it.
This has got to be targeted. Look at this, like deals on brands, V-neck T-shirts, underwear, Honest
I got
diapers.
those
I got
too,
those
though,
exact
Carter. We
same
have the
4,
same
Carter.
things. No,
But,
there is no.
Neil, are you getting
personalization on
served
Prime Day.
Honest diapers?
Oh my God, I hope so.
That'd be really funny. I mean, I've purchased stuff for my friends' kids and my nephews and stuff, so
Those are the
I've
exact same
gotten
pictures
very
I got,
weird.
too, though.
Yeah.
suggestions as well.
Like I got this thing too. You got
Which
this
one?
thing too. Look at this. Keep going. This. Why are we both getting this? I mean, I could see why you would get that. These are just deals that are being served up.
Okay,
Man, I'm really unimpressed.
it's been a while since I've placed Amazon ads. The question is, are people paying for these? Are people paying for the placements here?
That was also a question from Shlomo in the audience, listening live right now. What are vendor placements and how much do they cost for Prime Day?
They're absolutely being paid for.
I would say in some way, shape, or
0%.
form.
Are they
Either
getting
through
paid
either
for
through
it
the
in
product
cash
costs
or are they
through-
product costs? Like, is it the fact that, hey, we're going to take a hit?
Usually it's cash.
All right, fair.
It's either way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's usually like what I always tell people. It's a soft interplay between what are you going to sell and then who's giving you money. If you only merchandise to who gives you money, that's probably not the best thing for your customer. So it's a
Right.
little bit of a soft balance between what's the best deal, who's paid me what, and let me play that out. So Shlomo, that's how that usually works. So it's hard to say one exact way or the other, but it's usually some combination of that.
And I do not have children I know of, and yes, I have the Honest Company ad as well.
Do you
Wow.
really? Wow.
Honest diapers,
Come on,
putting up the
Amazon.
cash.
Jeez, it's amazing how unpersonalized.
But
this
I
is.
wonder if they're playing it safe, right? You know, they've had technical issues in the past.
Maybe.
Like, do you just
Yeah.
like blast out a single? But I mean, now I'm speaking. This is the one thing that
Maybe.
my wife said we should buy.
Oh, you should get the Roomba.
The Roomba, my
Really?
house is so small,
I'm
though. The
not a
Roomba
big
would be
fan of
done in
Roombas.
about
They
6
break
minutes.
really easily. At least
What are
my
you trying to get
experience.
them to clean up?
Well, I've owned like 3 or 4 of them in the past now.
Wow,
Jeez.
3 or 4?
Well, I used
For
to
all
run the-
9
big
levels of your
roller.
house?
I used to run the category for Target, so I used to get them to try as samples, and they just
Well,
never
maybe
really
they were a
worked.
sample one. Maybe they weren't like the one that
they
they
were
actually
real.
roll
They were-
out.
I've tried a bunch of different types of robotic vacuums too, and they never quite worked for me. Although I have thought about getting them to clean our space here at the lab. So
Yeah.
See,
Love
that
to
would
try
be
that.
all right. So that I think that would be awesome, is because you have such a huge floor space, you can take advantage of the robotic power and just like let it run overnight.
Yeah.
For me, that Roomba would be done in like 6 minutes, and most of the time it'd just be sitting in the charger.
Yeah.
Like how amazing would it be if you knew that overnight it was working for 7
and then you gotta
hours?
actually
Sounds
mine
like
it and stuff.
$250 well spent.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I think to close us up here, because Ann wanted to do it, I do want to
Please.
say a couple things. I do want to say a couple things about Third House. So today, actually, we have launched our website, Third House. So you can check it out on thirdhouse.com. It is the official soft open of our retail technology lab here in Minneapolis. And the intention of Third House is really a few things. But number one, you should know it's a joint venture between Xenia Retail, who's a specialist in cloud commerce and point of sale technology. It's a joint venture between Xenia Retail and, of course, Ann and myself at Red Archer Retail, and specifically our efforts at Omni. Now, the purpose is to build basically a physical extension of what we do day in and day out, and that's why you see us here live streaming from our lab podcast studio. But it's really to build a new ground zero for our work, to build a physical place where retailers, brands, and technology companies can come together to try to understand what the hell is the store of the future and how will it unfold. So if you're interested, you can learn more by checking out the website. There's co-working facilities that are available to those in the retail and consumer goods industry. You can follow us online. We're going to be doing a lot of unique content. Ann has some really cool stuff planned for you, as do I.
Great events coming up in the space. If you have an event that is somewhat associated with the retail industry, talk to us and let us know about it. We love to host those events. We have demo and incubation space for you to test and take some old product ideas off the shelf and really make that accessible to more people. We know that's a need for retail innovation to go forward.
Yes, we actually have a dedicated about 4,000 square feet of space for retailers, brands, and tech companies to come in and demo their products outside the mainstream of day-to-day operations, but really truly in front of the industry, and if possible and if desired, live in front of the Minneapolis community as well.
Also agencies who are working with retailers. We really want to be a space for you to be able to get your proofs of concepts. Having background in agency life, a lot of those you don't get to get beyond a large format printed deck, and we really believe in the power of creating an actual experience to walk through and to pitch those great ideas that the agencies.
Yeah, it's a super good
have.
point. Like day in and day out, we're stuck, turning over conference rooms and sitting and
Yeah.
relying on a bad TV in the front of the room to get ideas across. I just can't wait to use this space from an agency perspective to ultimately sell clients in terms of getting your ideas actually in life in front of them. So I think, we're super excited to be able to leverage this space and being able to say, hey, let's start the morning in our conference room. We'll give you kind of the standard rig and roll. And then we're actually going to go to Third House and show you how this is going to look and how this is going to operate and how this is going to come to life in a retail environment. And that's just what one of the many things I'm so excited to see come to life in this space. It's going to be really amazing.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a labor of love definitely for Ann and myself and for Xenia for a number of months now. So it's amazing to see that we're finally here. That's why we wanted to live stream today. It's kind of our hello world to what Third House is all about, and we'll be telling you for sure more about it with some exciting announcements hopefully to come still in the weeks and days ahead. But with that, let's close out our Prime Day here. We didn't do this in the beginning, but we had talked about it, so I'm curious to see what everyone says. We all talked about what we wanted to purchase for Prime Day, and now I'm curious what, in closing, we would each purchase for each other for Prime Day.
But purchase for each other?
Yeah.
Purchase for each other. So if we could make a wish list, what would we purchase for you? So Ann is chomping at the bit to do this because I think she has some exciting things. But Ann, what would you purchase for the group?
Actually, I think Neil was my favorite one to pick for. I know the least about
Probably
Neil
the
because
same as
we just recently met, but he is one of my favorite people, and there's so many cool things about him. So number one, I think the deal for Neil is taking advantage of 30 to 40% off Amazon Essentials luggage deals because he's a world traveler.
He's a world traveler.
And believe it or not, we were in New York a couple weeks ago, and the amount of Amazon Essentials luggage I saw on the streets with people who look like experienced travelers was enough to make me say, maybe away is not the next luggage purchase.
Once again,
May-
brand is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this a durable product? Okay, and
Yeah.
number 2 is for Neil, sunglasses and male grooming products, because Neil has some of
I
the
was
most
gonna
amazing
say.
hair. He has to be using
got
the
good
premium.
flow.
He's got good salad, man. He's got to have those premium beauty products.
Neil's hair was in
so Neil, those are my deals for you.
Neil's hair was in the way of some of the shots. I didn't even care.
I
just
know,
kept it
it's
in.
so
I mean,
beautiful.
it's actually whenever the shots, the numbers went up. Whenever the hair was in the flow, I actually want to take that one a step further, Ann.
Okay, do it.
I actually want to get him a stylish pocket comb
Oh,
for the hair.
Yeah.
That's what I would get him today on Prime Day. Yeah,
Okay.
I think something that he can like.
Oh, like
Also, because I'm jealous.
like
but,
Danny Zuko
Yes,
style.
yeah,
Wow.
like,
Okay.
Totally, like,
I didn't even know what a pocket comb was until 10
Like a
seconds ago, but
switchblade
now I'm on
kinda thing.
board. Yeah,
Yeah,
switchblade.
yeah.
Yes,
exactly.
switchblade.
Danny Zuko.
That's
Because
right.
that's
solid
stylish.
hero.
Nothing says style like a pocket switchblade comb.
Oh my God.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What else did you have anything for anybody else?
Oh, I did. Carter, I am going to recommend, since we know little Charlie is going to be starting his daycare adventure soon, I am recommending that Carter do the same thing that I mentioned I was doing earlier and stock up on backup daycare clothes. So I
Oh,
would get
good idea.
take advantage of the Amazon Essentials body suits and pants and
All
all
right.
that stuff, because you're gonna need straight up 3 pairs of trade up clothes to go into, and then second, the Furbo dog camera, because Ray needs the dog camera.
You guys,
I saw you walking the dog
I have
yesterday.
one.
Oh, Jesus.
You want me to pull it up? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's so amazing. You have a dog camera?
I kind
So
of
it
thought
goes on
that
the
might
collar
be the
or what?
case.
No. It goes like in your house, and then you can throw treats from it.
Yeah. It's
You can
it looks really
You
cool.
can throw treats from it? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
just want to make sure our listeners could hear that
It's
well.
genius.
Wow.
Forgot that was a thing.
So you have this thing that... Okay, wow, okay.
Um,
What was on your list for me?
for you, we kind of already
Oh, the
talked about
basics
this, but
thing?
Chris needs to up his athletic apparel game. So I picked 30% to 40% off Adidas Champion and Under Armour cotton t-shirts
Cotton t-shirts.
for
okay.
you
We'll do that later.
and
Okay,
other
that
sporting
sounds good.
goods.
That sounds good. Did you guys have? I have some things for you guys. You want to hear what they are? Do you guys have anything?
Why don't you go?
Okay, I'll go. So for Anne, I was very utilitarian in a lot of this. So I already did Neil in the stylish comb for the flow, but for Anne, I was thinking a spa day might be good after this
You're
morning,
such a
something to kind of help you, just take a break.
You
and
guys, I've
relax
been
a
trying to
little
get
bit.
Third House up and running for the last several months.
And it's
I'm
well
a little
deserved that
high
you should have a
stress.
spa day,
I should probably be
100%.
getting one of the petty bath
should have, like,
tubs
8.
or something.
Yeah, 8 in a week. Yes,
Fair,
absolutely.
totally fair.
Carter-
Thanks for bearing with me.
Carter, which I think maybe a story to close us out, but I think you should get a new Apple Watch. But I also think you and Anna will appreciate this. I think we should get Carter, if they had it on Prime Day, like a subscription to Time Life books, or those infomercials where it's the
So we
best
can
of
use them as a
Carol Burnett.
doorstop?
No, so he can learn about Americana and those things where
Learn
they,
about the 60s.
they show all the 50s music. You know those commercials?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I think we should get him one of
So
those.
in love.
Yeah, and then it
It's not a podcast.
like,
Let's end sing.
going
it
into
holds
the
one
thing,
of them, and
yeah.
the music changes in the
Yeah.
commercial. I think we should get him one
Tonight,
of those,
I
some decade.
celebrate my
Yeah,
love. Sounds of
exactly.
the 70s.
And they're usually
Love-
sitting
yeah,
by a fire.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
crackling
yeah.
fire.
I think that would be good for Carter.
All right, save everybody. We need to move on.
Yeah.
I was
all
gonna
right.
say we have 1 minute.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Anything come to mind? Anything spring to you for us as we close this out?
I would say AirPods for Carter. AirPods for Carter.
I
If
hate
he
it.
doesn't
Wow, that's
own
a
them-
hard. That's a tongue twister.
There's a good deal on that this week on Prime Day.
If he doesn't own them already. And then Chris, I was also thinking cotton after a whole Under Armour versus cotton debate last week. And then and hard to shop for. I do think the spa day is definitely warranted. She has had a hell of a last 2 weeks. So
Thank
No,
you
the-
guys.
Poor Anne.
fantastic.
I know.
The site looks freaking amazing.
It's
by the way,
okay. I'll take the spa
All right,
day.
I-
I,
we're-
I'll take a spa day. I'd
fully
take a spa
admit.
day.
I fully admit.
we're in bonus time now, so I'm gonna be quick. Okay, Chris.
Yeah.
All of you actually need Alexa devices. So first of all, you guys all need that. Chris, I caught you sweating taking a conference call on the floor here in the studios. I was working on the cameras after a nice workout, so I'm gonna get you a sweatband.
Oh, that's actually a good call.
Neil, I'm gonna get you a new computer. I think. I love the Beats audio on your PC, but I'm a Mac guy, so let's see if I can roll up some Mac computers. So that's mine. Pretty standard, pretty stereotypical.
That is fantastic. All right. Well, that closes us up. It's now 10 o'clock. That was technically our second live stream, but I think our first really ready to go where we've promoted it. And so thanks to everyone that tuned in today. We had a good number of listeners. The audience got up there pretty good at one point in time. Super thrilled with it. Again, thank you so much. Keep us in the know on what's going on in terms of Prime Day, what's happening, what you're seeing, how personalized or not personalized your website is, as it sounds like no one's is. Because we want to hear it. And again, thank you to everyone for sticking with us too as we open up our new retail technology lab, Third House, here in Minneapolis. Go to www.thirdhouse.com to check it out. Definitely want to hear from you on that as well. And of course, as always, starting your week on a Monday, rate, review, subscribe to our podcast, subscribe to Omni Talk, and of course, be careful out there.
Adios.